everybody, welcome to Anime Slushy. It's me, Cube.
And it's Fiend.
It's Cube and Fiend.
Before we get into this one, this is something I want to flag real quick. A little while ago, I sort of realized / accepted that I am actually transgender.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, so obviously I'm right at the start of my transition and everything. And at some point, I might start doing something with my voice. There's going to be a very awkward period. I apologize for that. But yeah, I just thought maybe it'd be best to flag it up front that if you're commenting, my pronouns are she, her now. So yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
That should be an interesting podcasting experience going forward.
Yeah. It's like I said, it's probably going to be awkward, and I apologize. But
Nah, I'm excited to hear it.
Okay.
But so it's time, as I've hinted at. It's very important. We got to talk about Black Rock Shooter.
Yeah. BRS.
Black Rock Shooter.
The anime that most directly inspired Ruby.
Yes. Yeah. This is very important as a Ruby fucking historian, which, as we all know, is my true profession. The origins of Black Rock Shooter date back to an original character illustration titled Black Rock Shooter by illustrator Ryohei Fuke, best known by his handle, Fuke. Because this is the thing, I have a bunch of copied Wikipedia text here, because Black Rock Shooter is one of those things that, kind of like Vocaloids, if you aren't familiar with it, it's kind of hard to understand what the fuck is going on with this franchise.
Well, because that's the thing, isn't it? It's a franchise.
Yes.
And the unique thing about it is that it's not a franchise where any of the disparate versions are really tied together all that much.
Yeah, because so the way that it started is, this Huke guy, he just drew this fucking illustration of this little girl. She looks like kind of like a punk rocker thing with a bikini top. She has 2 different length black pigtails, and she's got like a sword, and she's surrounded by checkers and textures, and it's like, oh, she looks pretty cool. And then the composer, Ryo of Supercell, was like, hey, she looks cool. I should make a Miku song with her for our big Miku album that we're doing. And then so he called him up, and then Huke ended up joining their group, and they made the Miku song Black Rock Shooter, which is how like most people ended up learning of the character. So a lot of people think that she's just like a version of Miku, but she's not. She's an original character, do not steal.
Not every girl in a Vocaloid clip with pigtails is Miku. It's very important.
Yes.
Most of them, but not everyone.
But yeah, but like it was a really big song, so it makes sense that a lot of people just assume that it's a Vocaloid thing. And like that album by Supercell was one of the first like super big Miku albums. It had Melt, it had World Is Mine, it had Love Is War. It had like a lot of the first like really big hits with Miku. So it's very iconic.
At some point, we're probably going to have to do a slushy that's just about Vocaloids.
Oh no! I could go on forever.
Oh yeah, but that would be good, like a primer to what the hell were Vocaloids? What was that?
No, don't say it like it's dead.
I mean, it's kind of dead, isn't it?
Oh no, it's a sand planet. It's little dead. But who knows? That's what the music video Sand Planet is all about. Is it's a wasteland, but maybe you can bring it back to life with the magic of creativity. Who knows?
But anyway, BRS. So the song was big, and then what?
So a lot of people were like, hey, we like this character design. We like this song. Like, what's up with this? We want more content of this. And Fuke continued to draw other characters in a similar style with other like kind of names like Deadmaster and Black Gold Saw. And it was like, whoa, I wonder what kind of world they would inhabit. So because there was so much interest, they ended up making a fucking OVA. And I think it was like partly funded by Good Smile. Like the original way that you get the OVA is like in a bundle with like a figure. So it was always this like weird kind of very specific merchandise tie-in weird little project.
Yeah. I guess you could see why Good Smile might be attracted to it, because they do make for good figurines, these designs.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's like that new show, the Assault Lily, Thigh Highs Girls. Apparently that is originally based on just a series of figures of like those girls with weapons, and then they made the light novels, and then they're making the anime or something like that. So sometimes, people just, they want cool figures of battle girls.
It's basically like the G.I. Joe model, or the He-Man model. Just we make the toys, then we'll figure out some adventures for these people to go on later.
Yeah, just with sexy animes. But yeah, so they made the 50-minute OVA, and a lot of the people that worked on it were like people who'd worked at KyoAni, but obviously it's a bit budget, like it's not I mentioned it before, but I made Phoenix watch this with me. I find it super charming visually. Like, a lot of times it's pretty loose, but in a very, that kind of way where you can tell the person drawing is like really good at animation, and they're just kind of, they can't do, you know, a million frames and they can't do a super ton of detail, but it's still very lively and feels really cool.
Yeah, yeah. It looks budget, but made skillfully, and it is like it's really good. That OVA, if you're gonna watch any Black Rock Shooter stuff, watch the OVA first because it's only 15 minutes. I think it's all on YouTube, and like it's super charming. Like it's it's very moe girls, but also they keep cutting to these segments where the characters are now their Black Rock Shooter personas and doing cool fights, and it's pretty rad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, so I'm not going to go by the over the plot of the OVA because you should just watch it yourself. But yeah, you could tell the basic thrust of it was that there's Mato, who looks kind of like Black Rock Shooter, but like lives in the regular world with her regular school uniform and stuff. And so you can tell there's some kind of like weird connection, some kind of like metaphorical connection between the interpersonal relationships she's having and the physical fights that Black Rock Shooter is doing. And it's all a little bit like metaphorical, and it's kind of hard to pin down exactly what's happening. But it's mostly based around her and Deadmaster, whose real world version is Yomi, and their relationship, and then they fight, and then at the end, there's this really great thing where her and Black Rock Shooter meet each other in the mind realm, and then she's like, "Who are you?" And then they merge, and then she opens her eyes and she's like, "I'm Black Rock Shooter," and then the fucking like rock kicks in, and I'm like, "Yeah!" Because she got that fucking blue fire eye that's so important and iconic.
That she stole from Sans.
I'll fucking kill you. This is so hilarious to me. Like, so many young people, when they see Black Rock Shooter, they're like, oh, she has a Sans eye. But Sans he didn't have fire on his eye. Like, and that's a fan art thing that is presumably inspired by Black Rock Shooter.
He had one blue eye, and then they gave him the BRS fire. But yeah, it's a really cute little anime, and it gave you the impression that it was setting something up. Like it works well as a pilot, which might have been the intention in terms of, you know, here's this rough idea for what the show could be. Maybe someone will fund it.
Yeah, it feels very proof of concept.
Yeah, super like that. Which is why it's kind of a bummer because we never got that show.
Yeah, God. Because it's funny because I remember watching the OVA and I think I was in high school when it came out or something. I remember it coming out and people talking about it a lot because it was kind of like this interesting, weird indie feeling phenomenon that it's like, hey, it's actually like there's all this cool action stuff and it's based on just this guy's OCs. What?
It's the dream. It's the dream of every artist who has an OC.
No, yeah, seriously.
Someone's going to come along and make a cool anime about my OC.
And it's like, I did like it at the time, but I wasn't like super impressed by it. But the more I go back and rewatch it, I'm like, God, these action shots, yeah, that's perfectly executed. Oh, the way that this connects. And then, when they're thinking about the other world, the checkers start appearing on different things in the background. This is so good. Why isn't the other show this good?
So this is the thing. There is an anime.
Yes. So, yeah, so the OVA was 2010 and a lot of people liked it. There was a lot of hype around it. So they were like, good, we can finally make our full show. And then 2012, it started coming out and it's bad. But, but I did want to mention, so the OVA is written and directed by Yoshioka Shinobu, who it seems like kind of like the Wish Upon the Pleiades guy. This is like the only thing he's ever actually just written, and otherwise he's mostly just like an animation guy. So I'm kind of like, oh, I wish he got to write more things. He seems to have some fun ideas. Oh no.
I mean, the OVA is well executed, but it isn't like super plot heavy or anything. It's pretty it's pretty straightforward in terms of the little story it tells.
Oh, but he did also have some help from the creator of Haruhi, which I thought was really funny. You probably haven't fucking watched Haruhi.
No, I haven't. What's Haruhi?
Oh my god, this kid. I can't do a podcast with you. The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya?
No, I haven't seen it.
I shake my head.
Oh, a weeb failed again.
It's funny because it's one of those things that there's no reason to watch it now because all the stuff that was interesting about it to people at the time has been kind of folded into other shows and done in a way that ages better. Because it was one of the earlier like light novel adaptation kind of shows with a lot of really charming dialogue and just like kind of weird characters hanging out. And it was one of KyoAni's like first really big properties. So it was very iconic at the time, and a lot of people knew Haruhi as this kind of manic pixie dream girl waifu character.
All right, okay.
So other people will know what that means.
It's only interesting in terms of like an archaeological perspective.
Yeah. It's kind of like Bakemonogatari. It's like worth noting in terms of like, here's where a lot of current anime stuff kind of comes from sometimes. But like I said, a lot of those KyoAni people, for some reason, they just came over here and they made their own Studio Ordet that like only did this. And I don't know if they wanted to do more stuff and it didn't work out or what.
That is the thing that companies will do sometimes when they're making a film, is to just set up a company that makes the film and then immediately folds.
Yeah.
It's a way of keeping all the tax stuff neat, and also a way of avoiding being sued. Because this company made it, and they don't exist anymore, so who are you going to sue?
Someone explain Japanese anime creation law to me. but anyway, between the OVA and the TV show, there were the other adaptations, which have fucking nothing to do with any of that. And so I started playing again the PSP game, which I had given up on because it's kind of janky and whatever. But the PSP game is fucking about Black Rock Shooter as a super clone that's awoken at the end of humanity to fight robot aliens to save the world from them. And it's like, what? Okay.
That's a video game ass plot if ever I've heard one. Give them a like semi-cool backstory and okay, you got to fight these people.
Yeah.
This is a vector for missions. But there is some wild shit in it though, isn't there?
Yeah, and it's like, it's so strange because Black Rock Shooter herself is the only thing that's taken from any of the original Fuke stuff, and the song isn't in it or anything. It's like they just got that one character design and then had to make up everything else themselves. And so, yeah, like, it's like the setting is there's literally only 10 men left alive, and they're all these fucking multicultural, like, I'm the Arab one, I'm the black one, and it's very shameful.
Yeah.
But it's okay because they all die. And it's really great because there's the one guy left who's supposed to procreate with the one living girl that they've also been looking for. And don't worry about genetic diversity. Don't think about it. But he's like, we can still do this. We have to continue. I believe in life and stuff. And then he just gets fucking vaporized and he's gone. And Black Rock Shooter's like, no. And then I was like, okay, now I'm on board. This is fucking stupid and I like it.
That sounds great. What a misinterest game. Clearly hates men.
And there's a lot of stuff in it that reminds me of Nier Automata, and I'm like, clearly Nier Automata was just ripped off of a Black Rock Shooter, the game. Nobody even knows.
I know you're kidding, but do you think there's any chance that who's the person who
Yoko Taro?
Yeah, Yoko Taro. Yeah, is there any chance he was a BRS fan?
I wouldn't be surprised, because I just got to this part where right after that dude gets vaped, she's like, Black Rock Shooter's clothes are all like torn up in a kind of sexy way, and she's kind of stumbling, holding her arm through this white void. And if people have played Nier Automata, you'll know the part that reminds me a lot of. So it's like, I don't know, he might have played this weird, sexy, apocalyptic robot alien game. Why not? I'm on to you, fucking Yoko Taro. Oh, it's an emotionless girl that's all like black and white, and she's just a pale android, a super powerful person.
BRS's emotions prohibited?
Slightly. Somewhat.
Okay.
I thought she was a robot, but no, she's just one of those like, I know only battle kind of things, and I guess she's like a super clone or something. But I still haven't gotten to the end of the game, so no spoilers.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
But I do know that either the final boss or some kind of rival character is White Rock Shooter, which is like her but white, which I do think is really funny because it's like, who would be the ultimate rival to Black Rock Shooter? It's White Rock Shooter, and she has white clothes instead. Oh. They really strained their creative muscle there.
Yeah, that's some Dark Link shit. That's that's so straightforward.
Yeah, it's great.
So you would recommend that game to anyone who still has a working PSP?
No, look, I bought it on the Vita on Virtual Console, and it was like $5. So It's not a big investment if you have a Vita. I love the Vita. I stand the Vita. The Vita didn't get a fair shake in America, and it's bullshit. It's so good. It's so good. It's so light, and it feels so good to play. I hate it.
The Vita does feel like a bit of a precursor to what the Switch ended up being. It's very, very similar sort of form factor.
Yeah, except, going back and playing it, I was like, oh, it's so nice and light compared to the Switch, and its screen is still like really fucking good. And it's just, I feel like it was the perfect size and weight and everything. We were too burned by the PSP, and we weren't willing to give it a proper shot. But anyways, also there was a manga that I tried to read, but I couldn't get very far into it because the art isn't very good. But in the manga, it's like she's in some weird like kind of purgatory, and she helps destroy purgatory souls and kill them so they can pass on or whatever the fuck. So it's another completely separate thing. But I did think it was funny that it's very clearly Soul Eater inspired, and it's like the first place she's in. It's like, oh, look at this super kind of cartoony city, and oh, there's a Jack the Ripper monster that she fights for her first fight, which is also in Soul Eater. And I was like, I see what's happening here.
It is interesting, the idea to me of a franchise where it really is just like each version is just like, here's this OC, use them for whatever you want.
Yeah, it's like I would have loved to see them handle some of the other Ruby versions that way. Like just go from the trailers and ignore the show.
Yeah.
What kind of story do you think this is? Have fun.
Now, in terms of its influence on Ruby, it's really the episodic anime that was the influence, right?
Yeah, I think the OVA might have been a little bit, but the anime is the big thing because the action in the anime is 3D, which was one of the things that disappointed me because I really, really liked the 2D fights in the original OVA, and I thought the animation on them is bitchin'. And I will say, watching a lot of the CG over and over, they did do a lot of really impressive stuff with like the way that they, made things work like 2D, especially for the time, because this was 2012.
Yeah.
So this was before, a lot of better stuff was figured out for 3D anime. And like a lot of it does actually look really good. Like there are very good individual shots. There's a lot of other shots that look janky as fuck. But I do have more appreciation now for the technical aspects of what they were able to do with those parts of it.
And like the artistic achievement in terms of pulling it off in 3D in a time when 3D was not advanced.
Yeah, there's a lot of really smart stuff that you can see that they do with the way that the characters are rendered in it and whatnot that, yeah, they had to like really stylize it just right. And so now I can appreciate it. But the other problem is that they ruined all the character designs, and I'm pounding my fists on the table because you'll know, and I've talked about this endlessly in the Discord, my waifu from this franchise is Black Gold Saw. She my girl. She's the first girl that Black Rock Shooter fights in the OVA. But in this version, she's got her fucking butt crack out and looks stupid as fuck. And she's the one that they changed the least, but they still managed to ruin her, and it pisses me off.
It was just a little bit of butt crack and she's ruined.
Well, I mean, there's other aspects too, okay? There's like little details that they changed, and it's just not as good. And I'm like, why did you have to change it that much? And like the biggest change is fucking Dead Master, who you'll remember from the OVA has that kind of like nice, she has a very slick design, and it's like she has a little black dress with the leggings, and it's pretty simple. But in the 3D anime, she's like super green. She's got glasses and a wedding veil so that you know she's gay. And it's just way too much. And she looks like she's made of plastic, and it's ruined. She was so classy before. I don't like it.
It's pretty funny. Like just a wedding veil so you know she's gay.
Yeah, how do we know that she's the ship one? I guess she has a fucking wedding veil. But they're way less gay in the show than they managed to be in the OVA, so it's bullshit.
Okay, see that's interesting because that was the one thing I really took away from the OVA was just how gay it is. Like we've talked about this on other podcasts, but it really was kind of impressive. They weren't gay in the same way that like Demon Girl Next Door was, where it's like, they're quite clearly kind of, really into each other and would date, and at one point someone proposes marriage. It's more that really gay in the normal anime way, which is just they're super, super affectionate with each other, and they're best friends, and they're really important to each other and stuff, and they mush faces a lot.
But it's pretty full on with the way that like she's immediately super interested in Yomi, the Dead Master's IRL Sona. And then there's like a lot of really good montage stuff that really sells you on their relationship. And then Yomi gets super jealous when she's hanging out with another girl in a way that feels very like, oh no, my girlfriends.
Yeah.
And they are really sweet together, and you want these two crazy kids to be together, but not in the TV show, because in the TV show Yomi's a crazy bee. I hate her.
Is that what that's what they went for, was it? She's a crazy.
Yeah, everyone's fucking crazy in the show.
Yeah.
And so here's the thing. So I was looking up, like, I was like, who did this? Who is the criminal? And so the same person directed the TV show that wrote and directed the OVA, but the scripter for the TV show is Mari Okada. And it's very strange because this person has done a fuck ton of scripting for other shows. They did Anohana, Iron Blood Orphans, Kisniver, Aria, a lot of other things that people might or might not have heard of, but like they've done work. I think it's a girl, but for some reason she did a bad job. She just did a bad job here. Okay, this is a bad job. But something that also made me understand a lot was the action director for the show was Hiroyuki Imaishi, who you might know as the director of Kill la Kill and a lot of other Trigger stuff.
Ah, okay. That's that's starting to make more sense.
Because the anime, the TV anime, as opposed to the OVA, has a lot more like butt shots, crotch shots kind of stuff, which is something that I always... So Black Rock Shooter's design... It's such like this like weird rocker inhuman doll person aesthetic that as long as she's not like framed weirdly, it doesn't really bother me. Mm-hmm. And I felt like the OVA very rarely was like, here's a sexy shot of her.
Yeah, as much as her design is like a bit horny, if we're honest.
Yeah.
The OVA didn't feel particularly leery to me with any of the characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just like running around fighting, and like there's like one kind of butt shot of her, but it's like not even that stressed, and yeah, it's surprisingly unsexual for a waifu property.
This might be, again, you might go and watch it and then just realize that our senses are burnt out for this stuff because anime, but by the standards of anime.
No, and especially by the standards of the TV show, I promise you the OVA is way fucking better. Because, yeah, the TV show, especially when we get to fucking Strength, who looks the youngest because she's the shortest and stuff, but she's fucking... So you can see her butt crack sometimes, and it's so fucking stupid. But there's also a lot of shots where the characters will just be kind of dramatically looking at each other with their faces close to each other, and their faces will be kind of distorted in a super exaggerated way, and I'm like, oh, this is Kill la Kill as fuck. Okay, now I understand.
Kill la Kill, obviously, it was extremely horny with teens, and it makes people sad, but it was also, like, it did have good fights, right? I haven't seen Kill la Kill.
Yeah, no, Kill la Kill is a very... like, I understand why everyone falls on such different spectrums of liking it or hating it or whatever, because there's a lot of stuff there, and some of it's horrible trash, and some of it's really good, and so it's the most anime to ever exist.
It's just one of those properties.
Yeah, it's every positive and negative thing about anime distilled. Okay, we're like half an hour in. I guess I'll start talking about the show now.
No, this is important. It's important to understand the context of where the hell this thing came from.
Yeah, because it is surprisingly complex and kind of hard to understand. But so the show opens. No, not with a butt yet. Soon. But you see Black Rock Shooter, and she's in 3D land, and there's dramatic music playing, and you hear someone narrating, and they're saying some kind of like children's rhyme kind of storybook sounding shit. They're like, the little bird flies in the blue sky. The ocean mirrors the blue of the sky. The heaven is the ocean of the blue of the mirror of the sky. Boo, 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 boo. And it's like, oh, this 3D animation looks pretty cool. She's like fighting or something. I don't know what the fuck. And then cut to Mato at school, our protagonist.
Right. We're not entirely in a fantasy world. So there is some school, like there was in the OVA.
Yeah, so like the OVA, the anime has this whole thing going on where you're seeing people having things in real life, having interpersonal conflicts, and then it keeps cutting to the Black Rock Shooter battle zone world, where other stuff is going on that kind of parallels it, and you're like, how are they interacting? It's mysterious. So the actual 2D animation in the TV show sucks much more than the OVA did. Like, the OVA was kind of loose and kind of budget sometimes, but again, in that charming way. But the anime is very jank in a much more just like, oh, you had $5 and you probably had to like hire a cheap cleanup studio, and this doesn't look very good at all.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, it's much more clean than the OVA, but it's just kind of angular and kind of crappy.
Yeah. So it's not just a style thing, it's also it's definitely like a budget thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of super janky, especially anytime the characters are shown from profile. There isn't a consistent way that they look from profile. It's different every time, and it's always bad. But yeah, so our main character, Mato, who's the real world Sona of Black Rock Shooter, I do like that she has, in both versions, she has kind of those kind of offset pigtails like Black Rock Shooter, except short, so that, you know, they don't look so crazy just walking around like that. But it's pretty cute. And she's your typical fucking boring, Genki, whatever, high school girl. I'm the protagonist. Hey, woohoo! I'm excited to be in middle school or whatever the fuck.
That was kind of her go in the OVA to some extent. Like, she was charming, but she was also
Yeah,
super Genki someone.
right. But yeah, the problem with it is like the OVA sold it with that super charming animation stuff, and I really liked her outfit in it, and it was like, oh, she's cute and fun, and I do like her. And she really likes Yomi, and then I want them to be happy together. But so speaking of Yomi, here's TV show Yomi. They like, I don't know, Mato runs into her, and Yomi is like, hey, hi, it's me, Yomi, I'm that girl. And she has glasses now, and she just seems kind of weird. And it's like, wonder what your deal is. All right, bye, Yomi. I know who you are. I'll see you later. And then also Yu is here, who was also in the OVA, but she's much more prominent in the TV show. And she's not as cute as she was in the OVA. She's still okay, but like in the OVA, she had that really like choppy hair that I thought was cute as fuck. And she was always like, okay. And the way that she talked was really, I liked her a lot. And now she's got a cleaned up design that's easier to replicate or whatever, I guess, but it's just not as good.
Boring. Wow.
Yeah. But Yu is Mato's friend, and Mato is on the basketball team, and you'll see her playing basketball a lot. And Yu is like the manager, so she's always, I don't know, putting band-aids on or whatever the fuck.
I've watched a couple of sport anime, and I'm still not completely clear on what a manager is and does.
I think you arrange the gear in the locker room and you put the band-aid on.
Yeah, because it's like the word manager just seems wrong because you're not really managing anything. You're more of an assistant to the rest of the team.
Oh. Look, don't try to take away her thunder.
Anyway.
Yeah, but so if you'd seen the OVA, you're like, so okay, so far it's not that different. But then we cut to, so Yomi gets home, and it's kind of like a dramatic looking home. It's very fancy, but I don't know, something feels a little off. And then she picks up one of those like cups on a string to talk to someone, and the other girl's like, "You're late." And Yomi's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. There was someone I think I made friends with." And she's like, "You're not allowed to make friends." Dun dun dun.
Right. So emotions are prohibited then.
Yes. No, it's a "you belong only to me"
Right.
kind of situation.
Ah, okay.
Cut to Mato, our main character, and she's doing a very natural thing for young women to do, which she's reading a children's book. That's her favorite thing over and over at home because she's obsessed with this children's book. She's a big fan.
Right.
And that's what she was reading at the beginning when we saw 3D Black Rock Shooter, and it's talking about the bird and the blue of the sky and shit. It's one of those like, it'll keep referring back to this children's book as like a artistic through line for the whole series. And it's very much in that vein of like, doesn't that make it seem deeper? But it doesn't.
This is like with Sino Ellis and also Ruby to some extent, literary references that are just to like sort of fables and children shit. It's a really easy way to add depth to what are otherwise completely empty characters.
Yeah. Oh, God. But in this case, it's like a fake kid's book that they made up for it.
Sure.
And of course, while a lot of this stuff is happening, they keep showing us like random shots of Black Rock Shooter walking around in her weird battle world. And I will say that the environments are super good. And there's a lot of really good environment animation and really good like effects animation that I appreciate way more now as an adult. And like the environment designs are very surreal, very strong colors, and just like a lot of weird ruins and weird abstract architecture, and that's pretty good shit. Mm-hmm. Like if you're gonna watch anything from the show on YouTube, there's always like a fucking Black Rock Shooter TV battle compilation, and you can just watch that.
That's all you need to watch? Yeah,
because everything that's 2D is not worth looking at with your eyeballs. It's shit. So Mato is trying to be friends with this Yomi girl, but Yomi doesn't want to be friends for some reason, and Mato's like, what the fuck, that's unacceptable. And meanwhile, enter a very important character who's the evil school counselor. She seems so nice and cool, but is she?
I'm just going to go ahead and assume that she's the one that Yumi was talking to on the phone.
No.
Oh.
Joke's on you.
Oh, bugger.
But sadly, this evil counselor lady, so she has like short hair and she has a pretty prominent beauty mark. And She's the real world Sona of the girl that I really liked in the OVA of Black Gold Saw.
Wow.
So I will say it does make me happy that my waifu is a fucking adult. So nobody come at me. Okay. I like the tall girl who looks like a fucking adult. But unfortunately, she fucking sucks in this show, so she's canceled already.
No.
So it's like, who is this mysterious counselor person? We'll deal with her later. And then they also introduce another new character for the TV show who's the team captain of the basketball team. And she's just like a Genki friendly girl with red hair. And she's like, I'm kind of a tomboy. Ho ho, I'll be a minor character that just something will happen to me and it'll be relevant. Ha. So just note that she's Captain Chan.
Okay, there's a captain. All right.
So Yomi, black hair girl, she notices Mato's phone charm of the little bird from the children's book, and she's like, "Oh, you like that children's book? That's also my favorite children's book," because the children's book fandom is very strong in this universe. And she's like, "I actually have a first edition. You can come over to my house and we can look at my children's book together." And they're like, "Yeah, let's go look at children's books. Woo, we're high school girls."
I mean, I don't know. People like kids' books in the world. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm just imagining, like, if someone had a fucking the very hungry caterpillar sticker on their notebook, and you were like, "Oh, I fucking love the hungry caterpillar. That's my favorite. I have the first edition at my house. Do you want to come look at the hungry caterpillar at my house with me?"
Okay, so it's like that level of kids' book.
Yeah.
Okay, I was thinking more like something for like young adults, like not.
No, it's like a picture book. It's like a metaphorical kind of picture book thing.
Oh, okay. I was about to compare it to Grug, but to be honest, I would probably put a Grug sticker on my laptop at the age of 36.
I don't know what Grug is.
Oh, hang on. I gotta send you a picture of Grug. Here's Grug.
Show me the Grug. What the fuck is this guy? Yeah, I would fucking have a phone charm of this guy. I love him.
Look at him go. He walks around.
he go. He kind of reminds me of Nejiri Honyo.
Actually, yeah, he does kind of.
Yeah, he's very powerful. But anyway, so they go to Yomi's house to look at the children's book together, and they're having a good time looking at children's book. Ha ha, hee hee, we're little girls. But then it's time for it to enter. It's Kagari. It's the girl who was on the other side of the phone. She's a creepy blonde girl with... I do really like the way she has that kind of like messy blonde hair, but she's in a white dress and in a wheelchair, and she's a creepy wheelchair girl.
Oh no. God. Can I stop for a second just to get the characters straight? Because I'm a little lost compared to the OVA.
Yes.
Okay, so...
Yeah.
So Mato is the main character. She's still BRS, right?
Yes.
And there's
Yomi, who's Dead Master.
and that's the same from the anime as well. Like the Dead Master was the one she kept fighting.
Yeah, in the OVA, she's the Scythe Girl.
Yeah.
But now Scythe Girl is a girl with glasses who's being terrorized by Wheelchair Girl.
Right, so Yomi is not Dead Master in this version.
She is Dead Master.
Oh, right, okay.
But she's the veiled Dead Master with the glasses.
Right, okay. And who was the other one?
Whose strength appeared in the OVA for like 0.5 seconds.
She's the one with the giant fists, right? Giant rubber fists?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Giant rubber fists. Good design.
They're very good. Oh yeah, and the way that she uses them in the show is very cool, but her design is ruined and she's constant pantsu and I fucking hate it. But yeah, so the wheelchair girl...
Yeah, what's her name again?
Kagari.
Was she in the OVA?
No, so she's the only girl who's original to the TV show in terms of like her other battle self, and she's Chariot, which is kind of funny because the Black Rock Shooter, they don't really have a naming convention that's consistent because you have Black Rock Shooter, you have Black Gold Saw, my girl, you have Dead Master, and then you have Strength, which is like why are those two so similar and then the completely different ones?
Yeah.
And of course the answer is just because he was drawing random OCs.
Yeah, of course. Black Gold Saw, did she have a human Sona that we saw at any point?
Not in the OVA. There was like a girl like in the background on the bus that some people were like, maybe that's her real Soda, but she wasn't an actual character that we met.
Right, okay.
But I will say, so Chariot, because they specifically created her for this show, I actually think that she's the best executed of the 3D design girls because I do like her legs are like wheels, but it looks cool, like her robo legs turn into like big wheels at the bottom.
Oh, okay. Kind of like that one character from fucking DuckTales. Gizmo Duck.
Absolutely fucking not. It's not like that fucking whatsoever. Fuck you. I'll kill you.
Sorry.
She has 2 wheel feet. She doesn't have one big wheel instead of the bottom. But like the fact that she has those wheel legs and she's like a little more mechanical-ish, and I feel like she was designed to work very well with the 3D animation.
Right, okay.
Because then she can like roll around and it works pretty cool. But it's too bad because like her actual character in the IRL world is this fucking creepy, dumb girl.
Right, okay. Yeah. Mm.
So she's being all clingy to Dead Master Girl, and she's like, "Get out of here! I don't like you, Mato. It's just me and this other girl, and I have macarons, and I'm gonna make you eat all the bad colors that I don't like. I'm gonna bully you I'm giving you the brown one and the other one." And Mato's like, "Oh no!" And Yomi's like, "You don't have to eat them all, Mato." And Mato's like, "No, it's fine. I'll eat them all." And then they go to play with dolls, you know, like middle schoolers totally do. But Wheelchair Girl, she has a doll that she's kind of, you know, like, what do you call it? Like talking like the doll is talking. And she's like, "I wonder when she's going to leave, Mary." And then she starts waving the doll's little arm, and she's like, "Go home, go home, go home." And Mato, instead of being like, "What the fuck are you doing?" she freaks the fuck out like she just saw a ghost. And she runs home and like cries into her bed super hard. And she's like, "What was wrong with her? What's happening? Oh God."
Oh God. This is one of the most annoying parts of Moe appeal anime to me is the utter infantilization of these characters. Where they're just complete, they act and behave like characters that are like 5 years younger than they're supposed to be.
Yeah, but it feels like it's trying to be like very serious, like, "Oh God, she's so horrifying. What's so fucked up about her?" But if someone did that to you at home, you'd be like, "Fucking stop that. That's stupid. That's immature. What are you doing?"
Yeah, at worst, it's kind of passive aggressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not.
But no, she's sobbing into her bed. She's very hurt. And then later, Yomi is talking to her over the cup phone again, and she's like, "I told you, you belong only to me." And then meanwhile, in Black Rock Shooter Battle Zone, she sees this like green thread of light that she follows into the Chariot battle realm, which is, there's a bunch of like toys and it's kind of rainbowish and it looks pretty bitchin'. And then Chariot comes out she has a big, like a spider mech that she rides around in until eventually Black Rock Shooter destroys it and then they fight on foot.
Spider mech, just out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's like, because all the other characters, or no, I guess the other characters have other things they summon and stuff, but yeah, she just has a big old spider mech, and I think it's called Mary, so haha. But, like, she fucking wrecks Black Rock Shooter, like, she gets her on spikes, like chariot wheel spikes, and, like, grinds her up against the wall, and blue blood is spurting out everywhere, so you kind of come to understand, like, these girls, it's very, very hard to kill them. They can get fucked up like crazy.
Yeah, right, okay. Just again, this is another similarity to Ruby. Like characters that you can just fight endlessly and it's kind of okay. Like they don't get hurt for some reason.
Yeah, but they couldn't afford to draw them actually getting hurt, so they had to go with the Halo shields in Ruby. And then, like, so Black Rock Shoes got all fucked up, and then Chariot comes out with her wheel feet, and she starts dropping macarons on Black Rock Shooter all dramatically, and you just hear, go home," in the background, and it's, oh. So in the meantime... Meanwhile, in the real world, basketball captain girl is talking about her crush that she has on a boy to evil counselor lady, and she's like, "Oh, I don't know, maybe I'll tell him I like him, haha," and worry about that later. Mato comes in. That's right. She immediately wants to talk to the school counselor about this creepy girl and what to do about her because she's just so emotionally overwhelmed by the existence of creepy wheelchair girl. And counselor lady is like, "Oh, I like your eyes. They're the eyes of someone who's never known hate. But it's normal to accidentally make enemies. And it does it hurt? Does it hurt when someone hurts you? But it doesn't really hurt because there's someone else out there who bears the pain for you when your heart hurts." And Mato's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
That's funny because that was my reaction too. What's the idea here? What are they talking about?
Okay, so partly I do realize that the subs for the version I was watching aren't super good, but like I rewatched and made sure I understood what they were saying in a lot of these scenes, because there's a lot of scenes with the counselor lady and you that are supposed to be reveals about what the fuck is happening, but that I couldn't tell. By the end, I'll be like, I think this is what they were trying to go for. Shrug. But yeah, she's basically hinting at that, like, in some way, those girls that are battling in the other realm are basically, they're experiencing physical pain in their battles as opposed to the emotional pain and you feel in real life. And like somehow, like maybe if they didn't exist, you would feel physical pain when people hurt you like that, but because they're taking that on for you, it doesn't, or something.
Okay. That isn't totally dissimilar from what it felt like might have been happening in the OVA, I guess. There was sort of a hint that like this was all that like the character conflicts that were happening were in the normal world were kind of tied to the fights in the BRS world in some way. Right?
Yeah, that's the thing, is like the OVA never, makes it explicit, and
No.
this show tries to make the connection explicit, but doesn't do a very good job of it.
Yes.
But like obviously there's some kind of metaphor going on here with the physical battles and the girls having relationship problems and stuff.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah, but the way that all the details are gonna shake out is fucking nonsense.
No.
But meanwhile, Yomi, Dead Master Girl, she joined art club, and Mato's like, oh, I'm really glad for you. You're doing things that aren't just hanging out with creepy wheelchair girl. And she's like, but we still can't be friends, Mato. I'll just hurt you. And Mato's like, that's fine. I won't be hurt. You should come to the festival that's gonna happen with me. We should do it together. And she's like, no, I can't. And back in Black Rock Shooter world, you see Black Rock Shooter see Dead Master, and she's all chained up in the Chariot world because you see Yomi is trapped by Chariot Girl. Emotionally.
Not physically.
You see.
That would be weird.
No. Oh my god. I can't wait to tell you about some of this fucking shit. So episode 2.
Okay.
Episode 2. So Yomi does finally agree to go to the festival with Mato. So episode 2 opens with Mato. She's getting dressed for the festival. She's got a little yukata on and her sandals and stuff.
Gotta have a yukata. You can't not do yukatas at some point.
Yeah, but I was like, whoa, episode 2, we're really rushing into this. Usually this is like a mid-season thing. And she's like having her inner monologue where it's like, oh, that wheelchair girl, she scares me, but I want to be friends with Yomi. I gotta do it. Oh, and the opening plays, and the opening is, it's Black Rock Shooter. It's the song Black Rock Shooter, but it's like a new mix of it, or like a new version of Miku singing it, and I don't like it. And I don't know if it's like familiarity bias, but I swear it's worse, and it sounds like her voice is trying to be like a little lower and more natural, but Vocaloids aren't good for that.
I was going to say, I heard some random Vocaloid song the other day where it was Miku, but they were trying to make Miku sing in a lower register, and it just doesn't, it's not what she's good at. She doesn't have that range.
Yeah, like when she can be like, I'm Miku, but then she's like, I'm Miku.
What was it you called it? Like tin can mode?
Yeah, it just starts to feel very tin canny.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think the opening is as good, and the opening also, it will have the dramatic panning shots of the different character designs, but like Flat Gold saws her looking over her shoulder back at you, so you see that stupid Y-shaped butt crack, and I'm like, God damn it. You ruin. But so Mato is waiting for Yomi. She's like, she's waiting for her, but Yomi, she isn't showing up, and Mato's like, oh no. And so she texts Yomi, and she's like, I've been standing here for 2 hours. Did something come up?
2 hours.
She waits. It's daytime when she starts waiting, and it's full on nighttime, and the like festival, all the fireworks are going off and shit when she finally gives up.
Don't do that. Just go.
Everyone in this show is extremely unreasonable.
This is one of those things where, like, if someone's late to an event, you know what you do? You go into the event and you have a good time, and they can text you when they get there. That's what phones are for.
It's not like she's like, I have to wait here or she won't be able to find me. You have your fucking cell phones. She could call you and ask you where you are. But no, it's because for the sake of it being much more dramatic, she had to just stand perfectly still for hours and hours waiting for her. But then she finally gets a text and it just says, I'm sorry. And Mato's sadly walking home, and she's like, that evil counselor told me that it doesn't hurt because there's the other girl that fights for you, but my feet, they hurt from the sandals, and it hurts so much. And I'm like, you did this to your fucking self, girl.
Yeah. Also, my feet hurt from the sandals. I don't think that's what she meant. She was talking about emotional pain.
No, it's don't worry about it. So she didn't understand the metaphor, and understandable because it's a bad metaphor, or it was badly constructed. So cut back to Yomi and Chariot Girl, and Chariot Girl is, because she's so evil, she's watching a TV show where like a wildlife program where a wolf is tearing up something, and she's like, ha, look at that stupid animal, ha, look at all its guts come out, ha. And Yomi is like sewing, and then she starts crying, and she's like, I really did want to go to the festival. And Kagure's like, no, you can't go because you are mine. And then she's like, I'll make you feel better. And then she says, strip. And then she picks up a needle and she says, I'll carve it for you. And it's like, what? And cut to Black Rock Shooter Zone, and she's fighting Deadmaster now, who's like kind of chained up, but kind of fighting her. And in the background, you hear, help me, echoing, Tasukete. And you see a heart carved into her chest, like right above her cleavage, on Deadmaster. And it's fucking stupid.
Yeah, this sucks.
And then a bunch of little spiders show up and carry Deadmaster off, and it's like, bye, Deadmaster.
Hang on, no, I want to stop and think about that image for a minute. That's so stupid edgy. Like, it's the spiders come and take you away.
Like, and there's that like kind of like Black Rock Shooter like kind of running after her with her hand held out, like, no, come back.
Oh, that sucks. Okay, so we've got, she's the psycho in terms of the body horror, physical torture psycho, I guess.
Yeah, and so Mato sees all that Black Rock Shooter battle stuff in a dream. Like, they start establishing that she's seeing some of this stuff in the dreams, and she can kind of remember it, and she wakes up sweating like, whoa, that was a crazy dream. She had a heart carved in her chest, and there were spiders, whoa. And then in the locker room the next day, Mato sees Yomi's chest as she's like changing, and that heart is carved in there, and she's like, what the fuck? But so instead of being like, holy shit, you're being abused, she's like, why didn't you come to the festival? You're not the little bird, you're a caged bird. We can't go to the multicolored world together.
What?
Well, it's from the Little Bird book. It's like the Little Bird book is all like, it sees all the different colors, and it's in a multicolored world, and it gathers all the colors. And it's the rainbow bird.
Right.
And so she's like, bitch, you're not the rainbow bird. You're a caged bird. I hate you, stupid.
Hang on. So I'm acknowledging that you seem to be in some sort of abusive relationship. I hate you. That's the reaction.
Yeah, because then she like runs off all upset, and she's like, Takanashi is a coward.
Oh
and
my
it's
God.
like, I don't.
That's, oh. Look, I don't want to take these things too literally, but it does seem like you're just telling an abuse victim that you're a coward because you're being abused. Is that that's not the vibe? Or is that the vibe?
No, that's totally the vibe.
Okay, cool.
And it's like, so she goes to the evil counselor who's hanging out with you for some reason in her like counseling room, and she tells them about her dream with the heart and about how she also saw it on Yomi's chest, and they're like, huh, that's kind of weird. That's pretty weird. You know, sometimes people share dreams though, like if they're connected or whatever. Maybe it's important. And it's like, none of you fucking care that this fucking teenager has someone carving things into their chest.
But like, I could understand that if they all knew that the BRS world was real, and like, so obviously they're more focused on like the metaphysical aspect, but they don't know that's real, do they? So,
well, spoilers: evil counselor and you do both know about Black Rock Shooter world.
Okay.
But it's still like, you know, Mato doesn't, so she's definitely not reacting the way that she should, and then everyone else is just like, yeah, that is pretty weird.
And Yumi doesn't know that that's real, I suppose.
Yomi?
Sorry, yeah, Yomi doesn't know that's real, right?
No, she hasn't seen it. I don't think she hasn't acknowledged seeing any of those dreams. I think only Mato has like seen dreams of this battle zone.
Right, okay.
I don't think Yomi's aware of it at all. So Mato's like, I have to go to Yomi's house because I still want to be friends. And Yomi sees her down there and she's really happy. She's like, oh, Mato came. I'm so happy. I'm going to come down to you, Mato. But then Kaguri's there at the top of the stairs. And I never really understood their setup because she's like, I was waiting here at your house the whole time. But then like they're always able to talk through a cup on a string. So I don't know if they live in like conjoined houses and I don't understand how that works.
Yeah, I'm not totally clear on the living arrangement, to be honest. Like, why is Kaguri just there at Yomi's place all the time?
Well, we're about to learn their backstory. It'll half explain it.
Okay.
But so she's like, oh, you're gonna fucking go hang out with Mato, right? And then so as a power move, she gets up from her wheelchair and drops herself down the stairs. To be like, this will make you feel like a real bitch.
Oh, God. Oh. I hate edgy anime. I hate it so much.
Just you fucking wait. So cut to the hospital where Mato and Yomi's mom are talking in the waiting room because suddenly Yomi's mom like decides to exist.
I was going to say, I've been wondering where the fuck she is this entire time.
Yeah, so she's talking to Mato about, so the situation is that when Yomi and Chariot Girl were little babies, they were good friends, but then Yomi was going to have to move away. And as they were going away in the car, Chariot Girl was running after them like, no, Yomi, don't go. And she got hit by a car. And so Yomi thinks that it feels like it's her fault now to do whatever Chariot Girl needs because it's her fault that she's wheelchair bound.
Oh, fucking lame.
And Mato's like, well, that's fucked up. Like, she can't just like live her life like that. And the mom's like, yeah, but I do feel sorry for Kaguri, so.
So the mum is totally fine with this. Okay, cool.
Yeah, she's just like, I don't know. It's so sad. I don't know what to do. And she has like kind of the dead mom anime hair.
Oh, right.
And she seems very dead inside.
That's an interesting reinterpretation of the dead anime mum hair. What if the mum is dead inside instead of just not alive?
Oh! But in the hospital room, Yomi is there with Kaguri, and Kaguri's like, my arms don't work now either, so you're just gonna have to do everything for me. Feed me and blah me and blah blah blah. And Yomi's like, what do I do? And then Mato's like, I have to go save Yomi from this crazy bee. And so she goes to the hospital room and she's like banging on the door and she's like, Yomi, stop humoring her.
Hang on, is that the line? Stop humoring her?
Something to that effect. Oh, because the mom also mentions that none of the doctors could figure out why Kaguri's legs don't work. And so you come to understand that the idea is that she's been faking it this entire time, or that in any case it's psychosomatic.
She's been faking being in a wheelchair just to fuck with Yomi this entire time.
Just to make Yomi hang out with her.
That reveal has given me coronavirus.
Oh no, the Rona.
Oh God, and we're only episode 2 or 3, right? Like,
yeah, this is episode 2, motherfucker.
Jesus Christ! All right, so this is the type of psycho person we're dealing with.
Yeah, so Mato's banging on the door. She's like, you can't just keep humoring her. And Kaguri's like, go away, that bitch fucking hate you. And then Yomi's like, stop, Kaguri, stop it. And Kaguri's like, Yomi, you're smiling. Why are you smiling? And then cut to Black Rock Shooter Zone, and she's fighting Chariot, and you hear Yomi over it like, what should I do? She needs me, but I also need to live my life. Oh, no.
So it's much more literal in this, right, where you can actually hear the conversations going on.
Yeah, so it's very clear, like, okay, that's supposed to be the feeling that's, like, kind of being conveyed in this battle in some way.
Right, okay.
And there is, like, this really rad shot where Black Rock Shooter finally shoots the spider bot so that it blows up, and then Chariot kind of, like, jumps out of it, and it's, like, very dramatically shaded, and Chariot now has one of the big wheels, like, as a shield, and so, like, you see the big wheel, like, kind of fly up, and then it, like, turns, and you see Chariot with it, like, as a shield, and eventually, like, comes down and attacks in it, and it looks rad as fuck.
Oh, I haven't actually asked yet. How is the 3D fight animation now?
Yeah, it's a huge mixed bag. Like, some shots are like, damn, that looks like just like a 2D anime, or like really cool and like I could see why some of the shots are like, oh, this would be like super inspiring to Monty for Ruby. Like I could see wanting to do something like this, and the other shots are janky as fuck. So it's a very mixed bag.
Okay. Yeah, because this is the most direct part of the inspiration, right?
Yeah, because it's like these 3D anime battle girls just like fighting each other. And then especially if you go back and watch like the fucking, especially the white trailer. Because this is why when I first saw the red and white trailers, I was like, this is just a fucking Black Rock Shooter ripoff. You got these girls in the trailers, you know, they didn't speak. And they're like super pale and have these mostly black or white with like a little hint of another color, which is very Black Rock Shooter. And it just like very much had that vibe. And the Weiss one felt like it was almost that same kind of like, is this a metaphor? Is like some kind of like metaphorical battle zone?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the most like direct what really set his mind ablaze.
Yeah. But then we get to the Blake trailer and they start talking and it's like, no.
Yeah. Oh, and also Black Rock Shooter, I haven't mentioned yet, she has a transforming weapon. She is like a big gun that shoots like energy. I guess they're the rocks that she shoots. But I never quite understood if Black Rock Shooter is named rock as in like stones or rock as in like rock man, like she rocks.
Like rock music.
The musical genre.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm still not sure.
Is the show butt rocky?
No, the music in the back of the show is very like I mean, I guess Black Rock Shooter, the song itself is kind of butt rocky, and that last song of the OVA was pretty butt rocky, and it was rad as hell. The Braveheart, oh, and the PSP game opens with a song called "No Scared" by One OK Rock, and it's extremely butt rocky and it's rad as hell. It's very Linky Park. I like it a lot.
I love that name, No Scared.
Yeah, it's fucking great. No Scared. Oh, and speaking of Linkin Park, the fucking one of the things that came with like the OVA was there was a little stop motion Black Rock Shooter short that had a fucking remix of Black Rock Shooter by the Linkin Park guy, and it's like what?
All right, that's legit kind of cool. So Chester did a remix of Black Rock Shooter.
Wait, I don't think it's Chester. Who's the fucking guy who do the wait. Joe Hahn.
Oh, the DJ. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. What is this? Where did I write it down? Both editions feature a 30-second test short stop motion video as a bonus feature featuring a remix of Black Rock Shooter by Joe Hahn, the DJ of Linkin Park, as well as a making of video. So I almost wonder, it's like, you know, they decided that they wanted to do the battles in a different style, and I wonder if they did a test of like, maybe we could do them all stop motion, and then they were like, wait, no we can't. Well, let's do it 3D.
Stop motion would have been, Jesus Christ, that would have been so much work. Like doing transforming weapons in stop motion. Ugh. Also, thanks to you, now whenever you say stop motion, I'm just thinking of fucking Don't Hold Me, I'm Scared now. So
you have to watch the rest of them. We could watch them together sometime.
I think the sexy clock was enough for me, to be honest.
No, they're good. You have to see the one about computers. Look, the red boy is my waifu. But anyway, so Yomi's like, what should I do, Mato? What should I do? And she's like, stop feeling sorry for her. And Yomi's like, oh, I see. This is actually all my fault because I humored you and it just made you worse and worse. And I've been doing this to you, Kaguri. I'm so sorry.
Oh, Jesus.
And she's like, Kaguri, you have to come out with me. You have to stop it with the wheelchair shit. And you have to come back to school and it'll be fine. And Kaguri's like, no, I don't wanna.
Okay, so I love the idea that like you have to stop humoring her when at this point they know that she was faking it the whole time anyway. And like, this is very definitely something that's been done to you. You're not doing anything to her.
Yeah, and it's definitely like, so Yomi knew the entire fucking time she was faking?
Did she? Oh, fuck, I missed that.
Well, because she wasn't there for that conversation, but now she's like, you can do it, you can learn to walk again, or whatever. And so it's like, she must have, on some level, known that she was fucking faking the entire time.
Unless she just thinks that, like a lot of anime, getting over paraplegia is just a matter of willpower.
Grow a new tail.
Or the end of Yuki Yuna.
So now like Black Rock Shooter and Dead Master team up and they're both facing Chariot and Chariot's like, no. But then Black Gold Saw shows up and is like, bum, I'm interfering for some reason. And she takes Dead Master away into some mysterious green zone and they're gone now. And Black Rock Shooter's like, what? Come back. And then Chariot tries to sneak attack her and Black Rock Shooter cuts her head off. And
shit.
Chariot is beheaded. And then there's like this very dramatic like silhouette profile shot of like the head like falling, and then you hear Kagari screaming, and then like Mato is outside the hospital room door still, and she's like, what happened, what happens, Kagari, end of episode.
I'm very curious to know how having your head cut off affects you in the real world.
Yeah, you gonna find out.
Okay.
So episode 3 starts with Black Gold Saw, and she's hanging out in her zone. Like, they all kind of have like their own little themed zone that sometimes they're in, but Black Gold Saws is just kind of this boring, it's like in black and white, and there's a lot of pillars just kind of hanging around, and she like uses a watering can, and some weird robed girls pop up that are kind of like dolls, and they're like chattering like and she evil smiles, and she's like mwahaha, and the OP plays, and it's mysterious. So you find out that Kagari is feeling much better now, and she's practicing walking, and she'll even be able to come to school soon. And Yomi is telling this to Mato, so she's all good now.
Wait, so did cutting off her head get rid of her bad personness? Is that what happened? It destroyed her mental illness? Okay.
Yeah, it's a little like, what exactly happened there? It's we'll find out, kind of. So anyway,
Okay.
Yomi and Mato are like, yeah, now we can be good friends without crazy wheelchair girls hanging that over our heads. And they do the thing where they call each other by their first names. Wow, they're happy and good friends. And Yu shows up and is like, we need to go to the club, Mato. And Yomi is like, don't like that. And the captain is there, and she's like, Mato, you know what? I've decided you're super good at basketball. You're coming to basketball camp because you're going to be our star basketball girl. And Mato's like, wow, wow, wow. And so you and Mato are talking about how Mato likes Yomi, and it's like kind of vaguely gay or whatever. She's like, oh yeah, I don't know, I like her. But then they spot the captain girl confessing to a boy, and she hands him a love letter, and they're like, oh. And to be continued on that front. And then cut to Mato. She's packing for camp. She's going to go to basketball camp, but she's got to take a little break to read her favorite children's book. And so she's reading her beloved children's book, and it's continuing the story. And it's like, it's all this different colors, the blue of tears, the blah, blah, blah. So many colors, the bird. The bird collects all the colors on its wings. But then, dun, 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 to be continued.
She doesn't have a long attention span, does she?
No, I think it's like you, the viewer, like, you're dying to hear the rest of this children's story, but you're just gonna have to fucking wait. It's a cliffhanger.
Is the metaphor that they're putting down in this children's book, like, at all clear and how it ties in? Or is it just nonsense?
No spoilers.
Okay.
I want you to go on this entire journey with me because it's very important.
Okay, fair enough.
So Yomi calls to talk to her girl, and Mato's like, oh yeah, we can totally talk. Yeah, I'm just packing for basketball camp. But then Mato mentions that bitch Yu, and how they get along, and how they've known each other since kindergarten. And Yomi's like, fucking you. And she's like, you know what? Actually, I shouldn't bother you. You're busy. I'm just gonna hang up. And then she hangs up.
Oh, wow.
And Mato's like, fucking, what? Okay. And they're riding the bus to basketball camp, and the captain is talking to you, and she's like, who are you again? And it is a little like it's seeding something, but you don't know it. It just seems like the captain's forgetful, but it's actually seeding something. So keep that in mind. She doesn't recognize you, even though you is the team manager.
Right, okay.
Mato is talking to you at night about her Blackhawk shooter dreams that she's had, and you is like, oh, well, maybe it's because there's like someone out there, then she's helping you bear the pain. You ever think about that? It seems like a normal thing for me to say to you. And cut back to Yomi, who's at school, and the evil counselor tries to talk to her, but Yomi gets all nervous and runs off, and the evil counselor is like, yes, all according to Keikaku. And she goes it's back to her counselor room, and she's looking at like a school roster, and she has both Yomi and Mato with little circles next to them. Ha ha ha, oh, she has plans. And so Mato eventually, she gets back from her basketball camp, and she's giving a omiyage, like a little souvenir gift to Yomi, and she's like, yeah, blah, 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 we're friends, right? Like, because we're friends. And Yomi is like, but not best friends.
okay, so they're taking the thing from the anime and dialing it up to stupid.
Yeah. It's just like, just for her to like literally mumble under her breath, but not best friends. Like super earnestly, it fucking killed me.
It's just so childish. Like it's just
But it's like, it's so like serious high drama, you know, like it doesn't feel like it's being cute and moe about it. It feels like it's being super edgy, serious about it. And meanwhile, anyway, with the captain's love life, this is something that seems to happen a lot in anime. Her love letter has been pinned up on the fucking like notice board or whatever, and everybody's like reading it and bullying her. I know it's happened to Nutena. It feels like a very like go-to bullying thing to happen in anime.
yeah. I mean, like it's one of those things where it's embarrassing, but unless like you're a person who gets bullied a lot at school, chances are everyone's just probably going to ignore it. I don't feel like they'd make a big deal.
No, everyone laughs at her, but the captain tries to play it off all cool. She's like, haha, yeah, that really was out of character for me, right? Haha. But it's clear she's hurting inside. And then later, Matsu and you and Yomi are hanging out, and Matsu and you both cry. They cry for her. Oh, the poor captain. And Yomi's off to the side. She's like, they even cry in unison. God damn it. So they cut to Yomi in her art club, and she's painting. She's painting a picture that's like an artistic metaphor for the state of her emotions. And it's Mato frowning all sad with a pentagram in her eye that's like crying a giant cartoon tear. And that's how she's expressing her feelings in a subtle way.
Imagine if that was your friend and you saw them doing that. You could tell your friend was a bit cross with you. And then you looked at their art club and they painted a picture of you crying.
Yeah.
Stop being friends with that person. That's like...
Yeah, that would feel so fucking passive aggressive. Or crazy.
Well, yeah, one of the two.
Yeah.
Hey.
So meanwhile, in Battleland, Blackrock Shooter has arrived in Black Gold Saw's zone and is fighting her weird doll girls for some reason. Black Gold Saw has all these doll girls she can summon, and one of the doll girls is implied to be the captain of the school basketball team, and it'll act like that's her other self, but like all those other doll girls I don't think are specific other selves, and how all that works is never explained, so it's fuck you show.
They just wanted to have a fight with doll girls, I guess.
I guess, I don't know. Like, because I think the idea is, you know, like, she's a manipulator. She manipulates girls, so this is, like, representative of that. But then also, one of the girls happens to also specifically be the captain's doll girl, so I'm shrugging. But so the captain goes to the evil counselor in real life, and she's like, yeah, haha, I don't know. I guess it was kind of stupid that this happened to me. And evil counselor's like, oh, that's so sad. And she starts crying, and she's like, everyone was laughing at you. You're a laughing stock. Isn't that so painful for you? And like the fucking lights go dark, and the captain's like, what? And it cuts to Blackrock Shooter, and she's like holding her hand out to one of the shaking doll girls, who I guess is the captain. And the shaking doll girl's like, I don't know, I'm just shaking. So the captain, she twists her ankle doing basketball, and Mato takes her to the nurse's office, and she's like, haha, it's all fine, everything's fine, I'm cool, I just have a twisted ankle. But then Blackrock Shooter cuts the doll's head off, and then Captain Girl passes out in the infirmary.
Oh, shit.
And the counselor, somehow she seems to like sense this, and she like cries, and she's like, what? I guess this interfered with her plans somehow or something. I still don't know why or how.
I'm not clear on why the stuff with the twisted ankle is in there. Like, Blackrock Shooter was already fighting the dolls.
Yeah, the twisted ankle I don't think is directly related to what was happening with her doll self. That's just also a thing that happens.
Yeah. It's just weird that as a scene, Blackrock Shooter was already fighting the dolls. Then we had another scene. Then we had another scene. And then we go back to Blackrock Shooter and finishes that scene.
Yeah. It's like, it is important to remember that a lot of these Blackrock Shooter scenes are like pretty short cuts, you know? Like, it's always very like, and this is happening, and this is happening, and this is happening while this is happening.
Right, okay.
Oh god, but I forgot to say, so when you see evil counselor lady cry at the death of her doll minion, at that moment she's talking to Yomi, who's come to see her, and she was like, I'll make you some coffee, how would you like it? And Yomi was like, I like it with sugar in it. And then she makes her the coffee, and she gives it to her, and Yomi sips it, and she's like, bitter. And the school counselor is like, I made it black.
I like how the counselor is just so outwardly evil and like shit at her job.
Just you fucking wait. But yeah, it's like, again, it's kind of like how Mato originally reacted to, this creepy wheelchair girl. Like, no one's ever just like, what the fuck are you doing? They're always like, ah!
Yeah, because it's just like, I like to imagine like someone who's keeping an eye on this counselor, like is looking into her reports and her notes from her sessions. And it's just like, what the fuck is she doing? This lady's insane.
Oh yeah, so I will say, so that's the end of episode 3, and I forgot to mention that the show is only 8 episodes, which is kind of unusual.
Oh, okay.
And so it is pretty like jam-packed in some ways.
I was going to say, because I felt like we have been moving pretty quick.
Yeah, a lot of stuff has happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all very strange. So episode 4 opens with you get to see Strength for the first time, and I'm like, yay, Strength. Oh, but it's your shitty 3D version for this show where you have white stockings and the pantsuit, and I don't like you. But she's dragging Chariot's body in her head in like some kind of wasteland, and she like throws him off a cliffside into a valley, and you see Chariot's bod just like going down, and it's like, I did it. I had to do that for some reason.
Okay.
Very mysterious. And then cuts to Kaguri, Chariot Girl is introducing herself to everyone in class, and they actually all love her rudeness. They think that she has good tsundere appeal, and she's actually really popular with everybody. And Yomi's like, I don't think I like that. I don't think I like that. And the captain shows back up to school, and she's fine. Like, the last episode ended with her fucking passing out in the, infirmary, and it's like, oh fuck, did she die or something? But then this episode, she's like, yeah, I can't believe I fainted just from a sprained ankle. Ha ha ha. And so it's like, okay. And Kaguri joins the baking club, and Yomi is like, what? You just fucking joined the baking club? But how can you do that, like, without me? And the other girls are like, she's with us. We're all friends now. And Yomi's like, I don't like this. I don't like this.
Yomi's really flipped roles, huh?
Yeah, so that's the thing. Yomi is going to start going like completely batshit crazy, and it's like, I don't have any sympathy for you now. Like, you were being a super doormat, and obviously like you were also like a victim of abuse in that circumstance. But then she starts immediately going like super crazy, and it's like, why everyone's just stupid and crazy, and I don't care.
Well, there's an aspect of like, I mean, like I didn't feel particularly sorry for her before because the abuse was just so cartoony and stupid.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, now she's completely taken over Kaguri's role as the lunatic, possessive friend.
Yeah, she caught the crazy bee baton, and it's her role now.
I don't fucking get, how do you have this thing where she cuts the doll's head off, and what's her name faints, and she's just back and it's fine? Are we going to get resolution to that, or?
Yeah, we'll find out like what the result of that was.
All right, cool.
Later. But meanwhile, Yomi, she's like, oh, I'm feeling pretty bad. I'm going to go talk to the counselor because she'll definitely help me out because she's so nice. Everyone thinks that she's very nice despite everything she says and does. And so the counselor is like, oh, don't feel bad. Nobody really needs you. And Yomi's like, what? And she's like, oh, no, it's fine. It's just that, like, just nobody needs you. So you really shouldn't feel bad at all about it. And it's like, clearly, like, I'm negging you. And Yomi's just like, ah. And then Yomi's like, Matzo, let's go home together. But Matzo can't go home together. She has to go to basketball stuff. And she's like, what? With fucking you? And she's like, well, yeah, you is also on the team. And Yomi's like, and you see like green sparks in her eye of the sparks of metaphorical battle. Then later she's playing Monopoly with Kaguri, and Kaguri is just having a good time playing Monopoly with her friend Yomi. And then Yomi's like, no! How are you just fucking fine? No! And Kaguri's like, you're scaring me, Yomi. Oh, I'm a victim. And then... So the next day, Kaguri is like, I want to walk to school with Mato instead, because Yomi's freaking me out. And so Kaguri goes to school with Mato, and then in the classroom, Yomi comes up, and she's like, why'd you fucking go to school without me? I was really worried about you. And all the other girls are defending Kaguri. They're like, why are you being so mean to her? Why are you being so weird and unreasonable? And she's like, you don't fucking know what I've been through. And Kaguri tries to talk to Mato about, like, I want to give a good gift to Yomi to show her gratitude for all that time she, like, kind of took care of me. And Mato's like, well, you could make her some baked goods since you're in baking club.
That's a really interesting way to put what happened. All that time she was looking after me.
Yeah, like as I was like carving things into her chest and like gaslighting her. I'm very grateful for the work she put in there. It's time she put in the time. Back in art class, Yomi is updating her angst painting, and now she's painting blood coming down from Mato's eyes because her painting was too subtle before.
At this point, the teacher needs to step in. The teacher needs to contact some authorities, maybe some sort of child counseling service, because this isn't going well.
Yes. I just love the idea of like all the other people in the class just kind of like raising their eyebrow at that. It's like, are you gonna say something? I'm not gonna fucking say anything.
Fucking hell.
So Yomi goes to pick up Kagari from her baking class, and the other girls are there, and they're like, why are you always so like clingy to Kagari? And she's like, you don't understand. None of you understand. I don't even care if she has other friends. It's fine. I'm fine with that. And then Kagari walks over and sees her, and she's like, I'm freaking out. And she runs off. And so Kagari goes to her house and she wants to give her the gifts. She wants to give her the baked goods, but Yomi refuses to see her, and she starts skipping school. And she's not okay.
No, she's not.
And now you get to find out what happened with the captain, because her crush boy tries to apologize, and he was like, yeah, they found that love letter, and then I'm sorry, I shouldn't have let that happen. And she's like, I'm sorry, I really don't understand what you're talking about. I don't know you.
Okay.
So her memories of the thing that was upsetting her so much are gone.
Right.
And that's what killing the other self kind of did.
Is that what happened to Kagari as well? Like she forgot?
Yeah. It seems like she only has like kind of vague memories of what her situation was like before.
Right.
And so like she remembers that her and Yomi were together a lot and she really relied on her, but I don't think she remembers how crazy she was.
Okay, because this is an interesting way of fixing these problems, because like the stuff still happened. You did all those things. Just forgetting about them seems like not the best way to deal with it.
Yeah. Because, like, just spoilers. So I think the theme that the show is trying to go for is that interpersonal relationships are painful, and you can't avoid that. You know, like, if you want to have interpersonal relationships, you kind of have to be able to take that on.
Sure.
But the problem is that everyone is so fucking crazy that it's like, I'm not sad Kagari lost her memories of her very important relationship she had with Yomi. Because it was all abusive as fucking horrible.
Yeah, like, these aren't normal interpersonal problems.
Yeah.
These are insane interpersonal problems. Like actual
abuse. Not just how relationships be.
Okay. So I don't want to say that every anime is influenced by Eva, but this is yet another anime post Eva that wants to do like the Hedgehog's Dilemma. Like wants to talk about how interpersonal relationships are hard and they cause you pain, but the pain is also good because like it lets you, the people, you don't want to be alone, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we get it. Eva did it.
God, I'm amazed they didn't directly reference the Hedgehog's Dilemma.
They love to. Well, they made it too explicit in Eva. They actually talked about the Hedgehog's Dilemma, so you can't.
Yeah, you can't rip that off.
You can't just say it again.
But so Kaguri's like trying to go back and check on Yomi. She wants to give her stuff. And Yomi's like, I don't want to see her. And she gets a text and she's like, maybe it's from Mato. Mato, she still needs me. My friend Mato. But the text isn't from Mato. It's from you. And the text is like, hey, this is you, Mato's friend. And, you know, I just wanted, I talked to her because I want to be friends too. And we're just really worried about you because you haven't been coming to school. And she's like, Mato's friend. Mato's friend. And she flips out and starts like hitting the phone with her pillow over and over. She's like, dust it.
Okay, that's hilarious. That's so clearly not doing any damage.
Yeah, and it's also like it's like you wants to be friends with you. And she's like, nah.
Oh, I can understand the idea. She knows, but she can't. She's jealous of you because she's a nutcase. But like, have you ever seen Glitter with Mariah Carey?
No.
There's a scene in Glitter where Mariah Carey's ex turns up and Mariah Carey has to act like furious. She's really, really angry and she's yelling at the ex-boyfriend about, you know, how dare you come back here. But she's trying to get that level of anger across while sitting down and patting a cat that's sleeping in her lap. And it's kind of an acting challenge that I think like a really good actor would struggle with, let alone Mariah Carey. And this feels like the same thing where it's like, I can't take your anger seriously if you're hitting your phone with a pillow.
Yeah, it's just so, and just like as You know, like it like dramatically zooming in on the words Mato's friend and then her like flipping the fuck out. It's just so goofy. Oh, and then like after she hits it with her pillow over and over, she like throws the pillow to the side and she's like doing that thing where she's like kind of on her knees by her bed and like laying with her face on her bed sobbing. And like the shot is completely still, no animation for like 10 seconds as you hear rain sounds in the background. And I'm like, did she fucking die? But then you hear her mom being like, Kaguri's still waiting outside for you. And she's like, Kaguri, that's right. Kaguri, she still needs me. And she's like walking, she's like stumbling. She's like putting her hands on the wall, trying to brace herself. She's like, Kaguri, I have to get to her. She needs me. She'd miss me if I disappeared. Ah. And she runs to Kaguri and she hugs her. And she's like, Kaguri, I'm so sorry for everything. And Kaguri's like, oh, hey, it's fine. I just wanted to give you some presents, you know, because you really spent a lot of time caring for me. And I don't remember why it was such a big deal. I can't really, but you know, I want to give you these presents so that you'll please just let me go. And meanwhile, during all of that, you're seeing Black Rock Shooter Zone and Dead Master is like awakening. She's like, Kya!
Wait, hang on. Please let me go.
Yeah, because, you know, like the way that Yomi is kind of trying to always be like, no, you need me. No, why'd you walk to school without me? Blah, blah, blah.
Oh, right. Okay.
So see how the tables have turned, you see. It's ironic and shit. It's like art or something.
It's just... Oh, yeah, it's ironic and art. It's like, no, these people are just lunatics.
Yeah. The crazied has become the crazier. So now it's time for Black Rock Shooter to fight Dead Master, and Dead Master kind of emerges with many skull boys that are her minions. She just has like a big kind of skeleton army. And I do like that there's a very nicely animated thing where she has like two big skull guys that are her buddies, and she like has one that she like points like go attack and it just shoots forward but immediately hits a wall, but then it like fires a laser into Black Rock Shooter, and like something about the way it's animated is very satisfying because he's just like thunk and then he's just like firing my lasers. And Black Rock Shooter is all right, like bring it on motherfuckers. End of episode.
Right. Okay. So what episode are we up to now?
5.
Okay. Because this is a very strange climactic battle if this was going to be the climax, but I guess it's not.
Yeah. So Black Rock Shooter is fighting many skeletons, and there are some pretty cool action shots. At one point, there's a part where like Black Rock Shooter is running, and she has her sword in her hand, because that's like one of the forms of her weapon is just like a katana. But because it's like animated at a lowered frame rate, and she's swinging her arm like the full arc with like the sword going all the way from like being fully pointed forward to fully pointed back, it looks janky as fuck, and it's clearly very wrong. And I'm like, why didn't you just have her ninja run? Come on, guys.
Hang on, sorry. Ninja Run or Naruto Run?
Oh, I'm sorry, Naruto Run. Copyright trademark.
This connection between the real world and these fights, I feel like it worked in the OVA because it was only the length of an OVA, and it got to just be mysterious. Like we didn't need an explanation for that length of time. But the connection here is just so... I'm just confused. Like, what is... Is this like a thing that happens for everyone? Does everyone have a Black Rock Sona that hangs out in another world and fights your mental battles or something? Like,
yeah, and it's really weird because like in the OVA, the matchups made a lot more sense because it was her and Yomi, and it was very specifically about their relationship. But here, it doesn't even feel like her and Yomi are that close, and right now it's more about how Yomi can't deal with Kaguri not needing her anymore, but Kaguri's Black Rock Sona is already just fucking dead in a pit and is not involved in this at all. So it's very like, you don't feel that visceral connection between the two things as much.
No. And like in the OVA as well, there was this thing where like, even as Mato and Yomi were you could see them being really good friends. Whenever you saw Dead Master and BRS, they were always fighting, which didn't make sense at first, but it made sense by the end because there was like a rift in their relationship.
Yeah, I've heard people talking about whether like the cuts between the two settings are actually chronological in the OVA, or if maybe like most of the Black Rock Shooter stuff happened like at the end. There's like fan wank theories about that kind of thing.
That's kind of what I assumed. We were jumping forward to seeing what happens once she sort of joins up with her and has to go and save her from her own mental problems, kind of, or something like that.
Yeah, but I thought maybe, like, I assumed that they joined up in that moment where she's, like, chained up and then she kind of, like, awakens and is like, no, I'm gonna hug it out. But you guys are just gonna have to watch it for yourself, come to your own conclusions.
Yeah, and then at us on Twitter.
Hell yeah. So you is like, let's go Mato and we'll go check on Yomi since she's been doing so not great.
It's a mild way of putting it. Oh, not great.
You see, wait. So they go to her house and the mom screams at them to go away over the intercom and they're like, what? But then Yomi comes out and she's like, yeah, we can walk to school together. It's fine. Oh, hey, you. Yeah, let's also be friends. Here, I'll give you a friendship bracelet. Because she had also given Mato a friendship bracelet before that she likes to make friendship bracelets.
Right, okay.
But then you and Mato are at basketball club together and you freaks out because she notices that the friendship bracelet has hair woven into it, like Yomi's own hair.
Okay. I guess that is a bit creepy.
I mean, it's creepy, but in a like, why though way? Because she doesn't seem to care about you as a person, so it's not like, oh, this person I'll really be close with. I'm gonna put my hair in our friendship bracelet. It's like, it's just a fucking creepy thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have no idea what the intent was there.
I also feel like for a show that's already gone pretty hard with stupid edgy shit, they could have gone harder there.
Well, just you wait, because Mato is in class and Yomi's there, and then all of a sudden she just like fucking starts cutting her hair in like really janky ways, and everyone's like, stop it, Yomi! And then we see her room, and the reason the mom had yelled at them to go away is that her room is just like completely fucking torn up and ripped up, and she's gone at everything.
Right.
And wrecked the place. And Kaguri like goes up to Mato and she's like, so Yomi broke, huh? And Mato's like, what? And she's like her heart died. And Mato slaps Kaguri and is like, how dare you say that?
This feels like the first person who's being kind of honest about what's going on here.
Yeah. I don't know, it seems to me like her heart died.
So Yomi's got some stuff going on.
Yeah, I guess it's not, it's an indelicate way to put it, but still, she fucking crazy. So Yu goes to confront the counselor, Saya, and she's like, you did this to Yomi, didn't you? You broke our friend. And she's like, oh, what? I just gave her a little advice. Ha 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 ha. And it'll just hurt for a bit, and then after your heart hurts, it heals and it grows stronger, so it'll never be hurt again. And this is one of many times where she says something where I'm like, is that what she's trying to do? And then later it's like, no, it's not though. She's just fucking saying shit, I guess.
She sounds like she just said a lot of shit throughout the series.
Yeah. But it's like, I guess the idea is like, so like the school captain, her heart broke, but now she's like better off in a way. But when her heart broke, it was because Black Rock Shooter killed her, and the counselor was like, oh no, when that happened. So that's not what she wanted to happen.
I'm starting to wonder if like Monty took writing inspiration from BRS as well. Just in terms of like, let's have speeches where people say stuff, and you can just plot whatever you want. Nothing has to connect.
Yeah, it's all good, man. So Mato's like, well, what am I going to do in times of strife? I better read my children's book some more.
Okay.
And so you find out that the rest of the children's book is that the colors on the bird, they all blend together, and slowly the bird turns black with all the colors, and the bird dies. The end.
Wow, what a great kids book. I can see why she loves it.
So the lesson that we learned here was
colors are bad? What?
So she falls asleep reading this wonderful story, and she has a dream of Black Rock Shooter fighting Dead Master, and then she wakes up and she's like, no, the bird didn't die, and she starts writing all these other things at the end of the book in the extra space. She's like, the bird, it grew up and it got married and it was really happy.
Oh my God.
It was the happiest bird.
She's doing a fic.
Oh fuck, she is. That was the key to everything.
Yeah.
So when she's back at school, the evil counselor is like, hey, we should talk. She's like, so Mato, do you want to save Yomi? And Mato's like, yeah, I'd do anything to save Yomi. And then she's like, oh, well then, I think you should die for her. And she starts choking her.
Oh my God.
And then she says, just kidding. And she releases her hands.
What?
And Mato leaves, but she's like perturbed.
She doesn't run straight to the principal and say, call the police.
Yeah, she was just like, why would that super nice counselor do that? That's so weird.
Oh fuck! What a show! What? This is great. This is like
See, I was so excited to talk about this.
I can see how you would look at it at that video clip for Black Rock Shooter or the OVA and go, you know where this show should go. Just
Yeah, for people who haven't seen the music video, and I mean you should, but like it's just Black Rock Shooter standing in like her checker zone, and the lyrics are all like, "Where did you go? Can you hear my voice, Black Rock Shooter?" And so obviously this is what they where they went with that.
yeah. Well, like the OVA, which is like just so sweet. It's such a sweet, pretty little story that has a sort of sad ending, but that's because it's like it's set up to a bigger story. And it's like, no, we're gonna have a psycho counselor who's like choking people, and a friend who's cutting her hair, and just this is
so good.
This is nuts.
So she's all upset, and she passes by the art room, and the girls are like, "Hey, you're Yomi's friend, right? Can you get this fucking creepy ass painting out of here and give it to her?"
I mean, I guess that's kind of fair in a way. Like, I'd want it to go as well.
Yeah, fair on their part.
But, sorry, maybe not Mato. Maybe don't give it to Mato. Maybe like.
Yeah, they don't act like they realize that it's a painting of her. I don't know if it's supposed to be I mean, but it's really obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Mato looks at it and she's like, "Oh God, I see. I did this. I broke Yomi. It's my fault."
Okay.
And it's like, let's consider what Mato has done wrong.
Yeah. Okay.
She befriended Yomi.
Yes.
She had also another friend. She broke Yomi.
Yeah, I don't see. This is so obviously not on Mato. Fucking hell.
So she's kind of freaking out about it, and it cuts to like she's still thinking about it while playing basketball, and she gets hit in the head by a basketball, just like thunk. And she's like, "Oh, ow!" And they're like, "Oh, you need to go to the nurse." And she's like, "Oh, I'll go with you." And they're like, "Who's you?" And she's like, "What, you? The captain, the manager of the team?" And they're like, "We don't know anyone named you." And it's like, what, she done got unexistence?
Hang on, where is she? What? When did she disappear?
I think the last time we saw her was when she went to confront the counselor about how she broke Yomi.
Right. We just haven't seen her since.
Yeah, but here's the thing. So she's freaking out about how nobody remembers you, and so she's running, and she's like, "I can't remember Yu's face. I'm trying to remember. I've known her since we were kids, but I can't remember her face." And she runs to like the seaside, and Yu's there. So she didn't get unexistence. It's just, I guess she just decided to stop hanging out at school, and then everyone forgot her. Because Yu is she's a special kind of being. There's like something else up with her.
Okay.
But I don't know why everybody suddenly forgot her.
Yeah, I get how like that killing off dolls and that makes people, it affects memories somehow. But like, I'm confused. All right.
Yeah, this is unrelated to that because like strength is fine. So she's like, "You, what's going on?" And then Yu's suddenly like, "Do you want to save Yomi? And do you remember when we talked about the world where someone bears your pain for you? It really does exist. And the other you, they take on all of your burdens as they fight. And when they die carrying all those burdens, and the burdens go away. But then you can't remember all those things. And that's kind of the system, I guess."
Okay.
And okay. I'm going to try to explain what's... Because I have written here, because you're the source of her stress, it's better if other her dies. Oh, yeah, it's better if Dead Master is murdered, because then Yomi will be able to let go of her relationship with Mato, because that's what's hurting her.
This is some incredible victim blaming shit.
Well, that's the thing. It's wrong. Because Mato says, "No, you don't make up with people by killing. You make up with them by talking to them."
Okay, all right. Mato, yes, that's true. I don't think we need to state that. I don't. These truths are self-evident, Mato.
And then Yu is like, "You know what? Actually, I agree with you." And it's like, well, why did you fucking say the other thing?
So hang on, what? She genuinely agrees with her?
Yeah, she's like, "I think that too, and I think maybe you can reach the other her, and then something." And so she's like, "You want to save Yomi, right?" And Mato's like, "Yeah, I want to fucking save Yomi." And then she's like, "Okay, you gotta trust me." And so she like hugs her or something, and then Mato like passes out, and she has blue eye fire now in the soul realm, and she kind of like wakes up in Black Rock Shooter battle zone, and she as Black Rock Shooter is stabbing Yomi as Dead Master, and she's like, no. And Dead Master Sona is dead. And so it's like, I guess they had this plan, but she just like got there a little too late, I guess is the idea. And oopsie, she already killed her.
Okay, so you knows about Black Rock Shooter World.
Yes.
And I guess already knew that this was happening? That like they were going to stab Deadmaster?
I guess she just knew they were fighting. She knew Black Rock Shooter was fighting Deadmaster.
So why get Mato involved at all? Why tell her anything?
I think because she wanted Mato to stop Black Rock Shooter from killing Deadmaster so that they could still have their relationship and try to work it out, as opposed to Deadmaster dying and her forgetting everything.
But wasn't the first thing you said is that you should kill her?
I think that was like a test.
Oh.
You know, like you could do this, and then when Mato's like, no, that's stupid.
To see if Mato was down with murder, she had to test that first.
Look. So back in real world, Mato is like dead-eyed, sobbing, and like passed out, and Yu is like, I'm sorry, Mato. I'm sorry, Black Rock Shooter. And Black Rock Shooter, suddenly there's like a red beam, and the red combines with the blue, and she becomes purple fire Black Rock Shooter, which is, it's like one of these things where it's like, it's just another version of her that Huke had drawn, which is called Insane Black Rock Shooter. And so it's like now she becomes the version of her you all know and love, Insane Black Rock Shooter.
Yeah, I don't know what like this other Black Rock Shooter.
Yeah, here, wait. I'll show you her design. I don't like it.
I mean, fair.
I don't like it. Here's the thing about her design. I don't like it. It's like Black Rock Shooter, but with a lot more like weird, just like kind of shit on her.
Yeah, she's got too many belts.
It's true. She has gained more
A
belts.
strap, armored leggies, more ponytails or pigtails, like just lots of pigtails.
Yeah, I guess.
A chain
They're
coming off her head.
Going wild.
Just chains, a real big arm, and then another smaller blade arm. Yeah, there's a lot going on.
Yeah, so like I think that main Black Rock Shooter has a kind of nice, simple, very iconic design, and this one I'm like. But anyway, she's Insane Black Rock Shooter now. It's very exciting. You can buy figures of this one. And that's the end of episode 5.
Jesus Christ. Okay, so we've got 3 more episodes to go. Who
Yeah.
the fuck is this gonna... Okay, alright.
So episode 6 starts out with Mato. She's floating naked in her soul realm inside of Insane Black Rock Shooter. And she's like, "Whoa, what's going on? Everything hurts so much. Whoa." And Black Gold Saw shows up, and she's like, "I'm gonna fight you, Insane Black Rock Shooter. You seem pretty strong and crazy now, so I better take you out."
Okay.
And when she hits her, Mato hurts real bad. She's like, "Ah, fucking hurts!" And Black Gold Saw like cuts through most of Black Rock Shooter's arm, and Black Rock Shooter just like, it's like, "Psh, I'm Insane Black Rock Shooter. I don't even give a fuck." And so she like rips the rest of her arm off and just like throws it to the side as Mato's like, "Ah, fuck!" And then like there's like a chain coming out of where the arm was with like the big weapon, and there's a bunch of stuff flailing around.
So how much is this Mato compared to BRS?
Right now, it seems like in terms of the person who's physically acting in Battle Realm, it's just Black Rock Shooter, and Mato is like trapped within her
Okay,
in naked soul form.
right, okay.
So Mato Screm big, and then you see like off to the side, Dead Master's body also gets dragged away by strength and thrown into the body hole or whatever, the dumpster.
Okay.
And Yomi, back in the real world, wakes up in the dark, and she's like, Huh? Why's my hair all fucked up? Why's my room all fucked up? What?
Right, okay, so she's better. She's all better.
Yeah, it's the thing. You're supposed to be like, no, but it's wrong. But it's like, no, but she was so fucking crazy that I don't care.
Yeah, like... Yeah.
And it's like Yu is freaking out because Mato isn't waking up. And I'm like, what did you think was going to happen? I don't understand what your plan was.
Yeah. So, like, she got her involved when it seemed like she maybe didn't need to. She then arranged to have her killed when she went nuts. And now she's sad because she's dead. Is that...
No, wait. Yu is worried about Mato, the main Black Rock Shooter girl.
Yeah, she got Mato involved,
Yeah, I think the idea was that she was hoping that Mato as Blackrock Shooter could avoid the death of Dead Master, but because I guess she was just too fucking late. It's just like oops, and now she's trapped in insane Blackrock Shooter. I think is the idea.
Yeah, but like then like was it you who was fighting Insane Blackrock Shooter? Sorry, I thought that was Strength.
Oh, Black Gold Saw is fighting insane Blackrock Shooter.
Ah, okay, all right.
The evil counselor ladies, Blackrock Sona.
Okay, so this isn't entirely Yu's fault.
Yeah, all we've seen Strength do so far is carry bodies into the body hole.
She's just BRS's garbage man.
Yeah. So Yu is very concerned. She manages to carry Mato piggyback to Saya's house, the evil counselor, and she's like, "You gotta help her." And Saya slaps her super hard, and she's like, "What have you done?" And so since her and you both know what's going on, they'll have these conversations that are supposed to be like, we're revealing what's going on, but I don't fucking... Because it's like, I just wrote down what they said here, and I'm like, I guess I'll just read this off, and then I can try to...
Well, because, hang on, so does you not know that fucking the counselor's insane?
They're in on a kind of plan together. But I guess she thinks that Saya's like a loose cannon and she's gone too far or something. Because so Saya is like, by burdening the other girls with our negative emotions, we rob our other selves of what little humanity they have left, which awakens their true power, which is what I did with Dead Master.
Okay.
I don't know. Because, like, at some point they make it sound like their goal is to awaken them, but then I don't understand what it means to be awakened, because Dead Master was the same, like, dead-eyed, I fight, but I don't speak thing the entire time.
Yeah, but so it was the idea that giving Yomi all these burdens that was then taken away by Dead Master fighting made Dead Master stronger?
Yeah, so she wanted Dead Master to be stronger.
But then BRS just killed her off screen.
Yeah, because she's too fucking strong.
Right.
And Yu is like, I just wanted to help awaken Blackrock Shooter by sending Mato into her. And so I guess Blackrock Shooter's... I don't know if her being an insane Blackrock Shooter is her being awake or what.
She was already really strong. But what's the end goal in terms of that other world? Like, what do you win?
Well, because then Saya says, no, Blackrock Shooter mustn't awaken. She'll destroy that world for some reason. And then Saya's like, but we can stop her if I just fucking kill her now. I'll just kill Mato and then her other self will die. But she's like, no, I can't. She's done nothing wrong.
I don't...
Because she's supposed to be sympathetic now, I guess.
Sure, but have these guys ever talked about their relative plans? Like...
I have no idea. Yeah, because they really don't seem to be on quite the same page here.
No, like, I want to power up Dead Master by making her IRL Sona crazy so she gets stronger. And you was like, I just want to make BRS really strong, even though she already seems stronger than everyone.
No, I think you really just wanted to send Mato in there and be like, hey, can you stop your girl from killing Dead Master for the power of friendship?
Yeah, but like...
But then, oops, she went berserker mode.
But none of you's plan involved Dead Master in any way. Because like, it doesn't seem like these plans are connected at all.
Yeah, Yu has no, like, ongoing scheme, as far as I can tell. She really was just like, oh no, Saya created this situation where Dead Master is going to get killed and then their friendship will be destroyed. So she tried to send Mato in there to break it up, but then that failed, and so oops.
And made things worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And now she's berserkers.
Okay.
So Blackrock Shooter and Black Gold Saw are fighting, and she cuts Black Gold Saw's arm off, and Black Gold Saw tries to do this thing she does where she'll like stick her sword into things and it'll like open up a portal to like go back to her Black Gold Saw land. But there's like this pretty cool like animation thing where like Blackrock Shooter like sticks her sword into the gap in this effects space and like pulls it apart to like schlorp her way in there. And it's one of those things that is like, that's a nice little bit of effects animation. You made that look pretty cool. But so she follows her back to her home base, and Black Gold Saw is like, here, have a bunch of doll girls, they'll fight you. And Saya's like, I have to reach her. I have to try to reach Mato inside Blackrock Shooter to stop this. And so I'm going to take a nap real quick. And so I can go inside try to talk to her through my Black Gold Saw phone. And so Black Gold Saw and Black Rock Shooter are like fighting, but then suddenly there's like the echoing voice of Saya, and she's like, "Listen to me, Mato. Can you hear me? It's me, evil counselor lady, your best friend."
I guess like Mato was having dreams before. Like in the dreams she could see Black Rock Shooter. But that like Black Rock Shooter world is just sort of happening at the same time, right? Like it isn't only happening when people are asleep.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, you just go asleep, and that's how you can kind of like dip in there.
Yeah. If you like have any idea what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so she's like, "Let me now show you the flashback of my backstory." So it's the backstory. So Saya is a long-haired high school girl now, and she sees Yu, and Yu is like walking out of school in a wet swimsuit, and you can tell like, oh no, she's being cartoon bullied.
Oh no.
And so she's very cartoon bully victim, just constantly all the other girls putting fucking, I do like they put fucking pencil shavings on her rice for lunch like it's furikake. And I'm like, damn, that's some pretty strong bullying game there. And she lives in a trash house with abusive parents and everything, and she's a victim. But Saya and Yu, they become friends. And she's like, wow, you're a really strong person putting up with having a cartoon horrible life. And Yu's like, oh, I'm really not strong. It's that there's someone else out there, and she takes on my pain for me, so it really doesn't hurt at all. And Saya's like, what? I mean, if that's your coping mechanism, okay, girl, you do you. But then one night, Saya finds out that Yu's house is caught on fire. And she's like, what? Oh no, I gotta get over there. Ha ha ha. And she's like, and I thought maybe you did it as like revenge for all of her horrible life. But then Yu, who's like been brought out by a firefighter, sees her, and she's like, you think I did this, didn't you? Ha ha. And she's like, no, I didn't think that. No, wait, you come back. You. Because it turns out that it was just like a cigarette that fell and caught everything on fire. But for some reason, I guess it really hurt Yu's feelings that she could tell that Saya thought that maybe she did it. Okay. Even though I'd be like, fair enough, girl. I'm not judging.
There's very big leaps going on here of people being cross.
All you need to know is Yu is a victim. She has an edgy backstory.
Sure.
And then so later Saya confronts Yu on the waterfront, and she's like, Yu, blah, I'm sorry. And Yu is like, no world is more painful than this one. And Saya's like, I'll do anything for you, Yu. And he's like, you'll do anything for me? Then protect me. Call out your name. Your other name. And so Saya's like, Black Gold Saw. And...
Wait, so she knew that there was the other world?
Yeah, Yu has somehow always been aware of this other world.
Yeah, no, you understand, but Kagari knew her other name?
You're talking about Saya, the counselor lady?
Oh, sorry, yeah. So Saya knew her other name?
They have like that kind of moment where like Yu is looking her in the eyes and it like awakens something in her. And she's like, oh, I can sense my other self. Black Gold Saw.
Ah, okay.
That's your true name.
Right, okay.
And so meanwhile in the present, Black Rock Shooter is like, I don't care, I'm insane, Black Rock Shooter, I'm gonna kill Black Gold Saw. And so she goes to attack her, but then Strength comes in and punches her real hard from the side, and it's like, oh, she's in it now. And she's like, I'm breaking things up. And so it's time to go to my home base. And I do like that her home base is like this giant cube that's kind of like a giant Rubik's cube, but not that regular. Like there's just a bunch of like cubes that make up a larger semi-cubic structure, and they're like constantly shifting around and shit.
Okay.
And she like puts Black Gold Saw in storage somewhere so Black Rock Shooter can't kill her. And so Saya wakes up and she's like, oh, that girl saved me even after everything I did. But I can't connect to Black Gold Saw anymore.
It's Alina. She put her in a maze.
Oh, mother brave. Safe.
It's a cube. It's got all the bits.
The cubes. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh God. So the Strength starts fighting insane Black Rock Shooter, and there's this really horrible shot that's like a bullet time shot of Strength after she's like jumped backwards. But because Strength, so she has big metal fists, and she has like a big hoodie that kind of doubles as like a short dress, and under it is just like underwear and then like thigh-high stockings. So like anytime there's like any looking slightly angled up at her, you can see like butt and shit.
Yeah.
But this particular shot is such that because like her dress is kind of flying up, you see like the top of her butt, like, you know, like 2 parentheses. And it's so fucking trash. It's one of those things where sometimes someone will be like, I didn't notice any weird lewd shots in the show. And I'm like, don't you fucking make me the weird one. With her butt in the camera. I'll kill you.
But this is just the thing that anime fans do. With, I don't get what you're talking about. These butt parentheses have been presented with total neutrality. Is that the line?
Yeah. Yeah, with complete neutrality, yeah. But it's cut to Mato, and she's in her naked soul realm, and she's like, she says, up until now, I've been forcing my pain onto others. Blackrock Shooter fought for me, but that's wrong. And I'm like, have you? Is that your character flaw? I don't think it is.
Yeah, like, she didn't even know this was happening. The whole, like, bad emotions transfer system is very... I can't follow it at all.
Good, then you're following what I'm saying correctly. So, meanwhile, Yomi shows back up to school, and she's tied some red ribbons in her fucked up, cut up hair, and she's like, it's all good now, and Kaguri's like, I guess she seems fine, that's weird. And then you see Yomi, and she's deleting all of Mato's message history with her, and she doesn't even care, and it's wrong!
Oh, God. Oh, well, I guess we know where Steven Universe Future got that episode with Greg from.
Oh my fucking... Holy fuck. God damn it, that moment. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Anyways, there's our weekly calling out Steven Universe Future.
I died laughing at the end of that episode. It was so good. Anyway, sorry.
God damn it. So start of episode 7, Saya's like, oh no, I can't reach my black gold saw. She's offline. And Yu's like, I'm gonna have to go in and try to connect. And she's like, no, you can't. If you go in, our counterparts will. And it was one of those things where by that point I was like, finish that fucking thought. I demand you tell me what the negative effect is of her going in and communicating with her counterpart, because I don't think you fucking know. I don't think you know how any of this fucking works. But he's like, it's the only way to save Mato. And she's like, so Mato, the thing, actually her character flaw is that she denies her own anguish and she wants to save others from their anguish. And that gave birth to Blackrock Shooter, who wants to sever the angst person from the people.
Okay.
But it's like, but all the girls in their weird battle realm fight, so I don't fucking whatever, fuck that shit. So Yu's like, I'm gonna go do something. She calls out to Mato's naked soul self. She's like, Mato, you fucking in here? Hey, Mato. And they're still fighting. Oh, and like there is a lot of really cool animation with Strength's giant mecha fists, because so like she can like shoot them like Gatling guns out of the fingers. So she'll be like firing them like crazy and they'll be spinning like Gatling guns. And then she like does this thing where she just like kind of, they stop spinning and become big fists again. And she like throws down like all the ejected casings and it's like, and it looks rad as fuck.
That sounds cool.
But also you're looking at her crotch the entire time because because of the nature of her outfit, anytime she's like crouched down, you can see her crotch. It fucking sucks. And like Mato is like trying to make Blackrock Shooter stop fighting, and so Blackrock Shooter starts like having trouble like moving and attacking. Mato's like, no killing, bah. And Yu's like, you have to get yourself out of there. You have to get out of Blackrock Shooter. You have to tell yourself, that's not me. I'm not Blackrock Shooter. And Mato's like, not me? This isn't me? What? And then you start seeing like random flashes of people talking about their opinions about Mato as a person. Like her brother and her mom and her classmates or whatever. And I think the general gist is that like Mato is someone who like acts positive all the time, but you get the vibe that she's like hiding how she really feels and maybe pushing herself a little too hard to be a good girl or whatever.
Okay. Has this been like communicated at all so far?
No, because it's like she was being very open and honest with like Yomi about like, you need to fucking separate yourself from that bitch, you need to blah blah blah, and like crying, and I don't know, like because like at this moment it seems like it's trying to be about like suppressing negative emotions and the unhealthiness of that.
Right.
But that's not fucking what this is about, so fuck it. And she's like, I didn't want to wallow in misery. I didn't want to think badly of people, but actually I just didn't want to be hurt. I'm running away because I'm a coward. I ran away. That little bird, to me, the little bird is... And then it's like, what are you fucking... I don't know. And you is like, no, you never ran away. You're not the one who ran away. And then suddenly Strength, who's still fighting, is like... Who's the one who fucking ran away? And, you know, it's weird because, like, none of the battle girls ever, like, speak directly. So it is, like, kind of like an interesting, like, oh, when, like, suddenly she just opens her mouth and she's like, who are you talking about running away? And it's like, what? And she's like, I hate when other people talk crap about me. Isn't it your job to protect me? And then she, like, looks up to the sky and she says, isn't that right? Strengths?
Right.
So, mysteries. Oh, yeah, there's a really funny shot, like, as they keep fighting, of Strength. At one point, she just, like, grabs Blackrock Shooter with one of her mecha arms, and she's just, like, slapping her around on, like, two different sides of a cube, but, like, the animation, like, loops somewhat, so it's like... And it's really unintentionally super funny. And then she just, like, flicks her away with her hand, and Blackrock Shooter lands, like, fucking legs spread, and it looks stupid as fuck. And so back in the real world, Saya is running after you, who... It's really funny because, you know, you was like, I'm gonna go convene, but obviously what you need to do is take a nap. So she finds you just, like, under an overpass, just taking a nap. And it's like, why did you have to fucking take a nap in your house?
Yeah, why under an overpass?
And I was like, how did she know that she was there? Is that her favorite nap spot? But what's interesting is so she's passed out, and Saya runs up and she's shaking her, and she says, wake up, Strength, like to the flesh IRL bod.
Yeah.
And Mato calls out to you, and she's like, you, I don't want to fight you. And you says, oh, yep, that's me. It's very rude not to introduce yourself, like this is since this is the first time we're meeting. And so what you're going to find out shortly is they switched places.
Rah. Okay. Okay.
Because, yeah, I'll talk about that more in a bit. But like, it gets kind of confusing to talk about because Strength is actually you and you is actually Strength.
Yeah. Okay. So, right. This entire time, like, other than the flashback, this entire time, Strength has been you and you has been Strength.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Because so now Mato is missing from school, and Yomi suddenly is like, what? Mato's missing? And then she suddenly starts remembering all of her good friendship with Mato, and she starts freaking out. And she's like, Mato, why did I forget? And Kagri suddenly starts to remember too. I don't know why they're starting to suddenly remember. I guess the magic of friendship or fucking whatever. And then so we get to hear Strength's side of the story, which is that so she used to exist in this battle world, just kind of mindless. She fought, and then Blackrock Shooter appeared and almost killed her once. And then when she was on the brink of death, she heard Yu's voice, and it was like, you can't. I need you to take on my negative emotions and shit, so please don't die. And in that, like, kind of moment, she became more, like, aware and awake. And so, like, from then on, she was just, like, kind of running around the battle zone, freaking out and, like, being much more, like, scared and aware of things.
Okay, that does sound like it would suck.
Yeah. And she's like, I have to stay alive for Yu's sake. I have to be here to bear all of her pain. And then, like, you hear her talking to her psychically, and she's like, you know what? I like your world, Strength. It's much simpler. I don't like it here. Hey, let's switch places. And then Strength is like, what? Ah! And so then Strength, I just had to live as a real girl for the past few years or however long it's been.
Right. Which does she think is worse? The fighting world or being you?
Well, I guess we'll find out.
Okay.
But I felt so fucking bad for her because it's like, I know that you is supposed to be sympathetic because she's had this hard life and stuff, but it's just like, stop bullying your other self. You're just like, you need to be here to take on all my shit. You know what? I want to trade places. We're trading places.
It's funny. It's one of those things where I can sort of see the metaphor they're going for, but it hasn't been consistent throughout the show, and it's extremely messy.
Yeah, and it's really weird that, like, Strength has the most, like, interesting shit going on with the mechanics of this world.
Yeah.
Which doesn't feel like it was really built up well.
No, she's just sort of been, like, around.
Yeah, it's very strange. Because, yeah, it's like, I do remember when I was first watching it, when you get to that moment where she's like, hey, switch with me. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Okay. So, yeah, but then, so cut to Saya, and now she has both passed out Mato and Strength in her house. And she's like, we have to protect that place because it's use only shelter. So the idea is that everything she's been doing is just to prevent Blackrock Shooter from fucking everything up over there.
Yeah.
And somehow she was trying to make the other girls stronger so that they'd be able to fight Blackrock Shooter specifically.
Right. So she's sort of been doing this for you, kinda?
Yeah, everything she's done for you.
Right.
But exactly how her fucking plan, I don't fucking know. Because she was talking about...
why is she doing all this for... because she felt bad about the bullying, I guess. Okay.
Yeah, because he was her precious, precious friend.
And also, we were like, once again, it's like the character who was bullied is actually the bad one.
Yeah.
All of the bullying turned them into an evil person.
Whatever.
You know what? At least, like, as opposed to, like, Oscar, at least they're acknowledging that the person who was bullied and now is doing bad stuff is bad.
No, kinda, because I think you's supposed to be sympathetic still.
Oh.
No, these girls are all supposed to be sympathetic still.
These girls are all nutcases. Like, they're not real people.
Yeah.
I can't feel sympathy for any of them because they're not real. They're like... they're all fucking lunatics.
And it's like they cut back to Yomi and she's like up on her painting, her crazy painting of Mato, and she's like, why did I forget her? I must go to her. Oh, it hurts. Why does it hurt so much? But my friendship with Mato, oh. And it shows Dead Master's body like, oh shit, maybe she's gonna wake up or whatever.
Right.
And it's funny because it's like it feels like she should be more of a major character in the show than she ends up being. Like, she's important to Mato, but it feels like she doesn't really have much of a place in all this finale stuff. It's strange in that way.
But it's also like, I feel like at the start we didn't see too much of them being friends before she went sort of nuts.
No, yeah. That's the funny thing is like the OVA felt like it had way more fleshed out relationships between these characters despite being way fucking shorter.
Yeah, and it was also like, part of it was that it was better written and there was a lot of montage-y type stuff, but you just got, their relationship felt quite real. And then, like, when you see them like getting separated into a different class, it's sort of sad, and it was just nicely put together, and you felt it. Whereas this is like, it's like you're meant to assume that obviously Mato and Yomi's relationship is really important, but you saw fuck all of it.
Yeah, it's like every time they hung out, it's like, I met your creepy friend and she bullied me with macarons.
Yeah.
I tried to go to the festival with you and you didn't show up.
Yeah.
I was weirdly bitchy about your abuse scars in the locker room. We're the best of friends. You made a creepy painting of me.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know what? We did both love the same children's books, so it's the greatest gift of all.
Okay.
So, last episode 8.
Oh, okay.
So Strength is still beating the shit out of Blackrock Shooter. She's beating her up real good. So now Strength, you see her in her naked soul form, and she's like, I'm sorry, I thought I could get you out of BRS. I thought I could like talk you out of her, but I can't. So I'm doing my plan B. I'm just gonna go ahead and die, and then you will be forced to return back to the real world. And so she's gonna like kill herself by jumping off a cliff, and her naked soul body is like cracking up into cracks. And you was like, no, what are you doing? I don't want to go back to reality. Skill me. And Blackrock Shooter is about to kill you in her battle bod. And Mato's like, no, I won't let it happen. Use my friends. And there's a really funny shot where the naked soul Mato inside Blackrock Shooter is like, use my friends. But she's like shaking like in a like what's supposed to be like an emphatic way. But because of the way it's animated, it looks like she's just doing like a little wiggly dance in space all naked. And it looks really like unintentionally super funny. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. And there's a big burst of light, and now Mato is the original base version of Blackrock Shooter and is in a battle realm looking at insane Blackrock Shooter who's been like separated from her now.
Okay.
And insane Blackrock Shooter's like, let's fucking fight.
This seems like it'll be a short fight.
So, and meanwhile, in like Wasteland Zone, Strength and you are both there, and you is like, don't leave me alone, Strength, I need you. And I'm like, this seems like an entirely selfish thing on your part, so I don't care.
Yeah, I have no sympathy for you whatsoever.
Yeah, fuck her.
She's been kind of abusing this other character for some reason, like a very poorly sketched out reason.
Yeah, it's like Strength just seems real nice, and she deserves better. So yeah, Insane Black Rock Shooter's like, you gotta fucking fight me. And Mato's like, no, I don't want to hurt you, even if that's your job or whatever. And I want to take the pain on myself so I can see other worlds, just like the bird of many colors or whatever the fuck. And so she's like, I want to be the one that's hurt. And then Black Rock Shooter's like, okay, I can fucking hurt you. So she starts beating the fuck out of her. And Mato as Black Rock Shooter actually bleeds red blood, and she's like, you humans, you heal much less fast than we do, as she's just like kicking the shit out of her. And there's one really funny shot at some point where she's just like punching her repeatedly in the face in a way that like you could absolutely make a looping gif of, where like her face is just like being thrown back by the punch and then coming back forward and then getting punched again. And she's like, why don't you fight back against me, Mato? And she's like, what, you want to hurt without hurting others? That's no fair. And Mato like kind of like accidentally wounds Insane Black Rock Shooter, and she's like, the pain of hurting someone, you can't get hurt without hurting others. And I'm like, what is this metaphor? What are we doing?
This is so broken. This doesn't make any sense.
So Mato Black Rock Shooter is all fucked up and her legs are all like broken to shit, and she's like, bleh, bleh. And she's like, I can't do it. I can't hurt someone else. And she's like, oh, I can't even move now. And then she's thinking about the end of that story with the little bird died. The little bird died. And she's like, no, I still want to see the color of the blue sky or whatever. And then there's like a shining light, and all the colors of you see like the other girls kind of waking up the battle girls, and she's like, I'm gonna fly and see all the colors, I'm gonna do it. And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck is going on, but she summons her gun, and like this really big, like the camera spinning around fast as like this hollow gun forms, and it does look rad as fuck. And then Insane Black Rock Shooter like does a big like smirk, like, haha, now we're gonna fucking fight.
So Mato gets a gun now too. Is she Black Rock Shooter regular now, or?
Yeah, she's looked like regular Black Rock Shooter this whole time.
Oh, sorry. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, like she bleeds her normal red blood, but otherwise she looks like the base version of Black Rock Shooter, and other Black Rock Shooter is the Insane Black Rock Shooter version.
Right, okay, sorry. This whole time I've been picturing Insane Black Rock Shooter just beating up regular Mato, which made it even funnier, but...
Yeah, no, she is wearing the appropriate costume for fights.
Right, okay, cool.
She's wearing the appropriate bikini top and trench coat. So, meanwhile, like, Kaguri is in an empty classroom, the chariot girl, and she starts crying, just like, whoa, why am I crying? And then the basketball captain, she's crying, and she's like, what? And Yomi's like, I understand, I've been hurting because I like Mato. And it's like, okay, I'm proud of you, not really. And so Insane Black Rock Shooter and Mato are shooting each other up real good. And then like all the other battle girls kind of like awaken, and they like make prayer hands, and a bunch of rainbow drills come down, and they're like, we have no feelings, we fight without end, but we care about our other selves. Or something. And Mato's like, oh, I can sense the others. Okay, you know what, Insane Black Rock Shooter? I will hurt you. And that's supposed to be like her big, like, triumphant line.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I still don't, okay, I'm proud of you. Am I? I don't fucking...
I'm still struggling so hard to follow what the metaphor they're going for at this point. Like, what does that mean? Like, she
says, I'll hurt you so that I can connect with you. Because, like, I guess the idea is that you can't... I think they're trying to go for, like, if you're too afraid of hurting other people, you won't be able to have relationships with them, because sometimes relationships are hurting each other. But again, it's so lost in everybody being completely fucking insane and abusive that it really doesn't work out.
Yeah, and it's also been, like, this hasn't been about avoiding pain by avoiding relationships. It's been about avoiding pain by making a fight girl version of yourself punch other people. Or like forcing your pain onto someone else, and it's sort of like that's not these don't connect. This is two different ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So who does the big punch?
We'll see. That's the thing, because as she says that, she forms a big rainbow gun, and it does look pretty bitchin' as it forms. The effects animations are rad, and the big old rainbow explosion, and she wins the fight. And now Mato is in the wasteland zone where Strength and you are, and she's still dressed like Black Rock Shooter, but she has a regular Mato hair now.
Right.
And so Strength is like all cracked, naked, dying soul, and you dressed as Strength is like, no, you can't leave me, man. I still need you, man. And Strength is like, it's okay. There are other people here to be your friends. Look, there's Mato, there's Dead Master and shit, but not them. I mean the other versions of them. And it's cool. The real world is good and stuff. And she's like, I don't know about that. And she's like, no, it's gonna be fine. And the battle girls are all there, and they're like, we don't really think about things, but that's why we could never fight for someone if we didn't love them. We fight because we want to protect our other world selves. Whatever.
Right.
We love you. And Strength thanks Mato for being a cool friend while they knew each other. I still don't know if Mato ever knew the real you. I guess she didn't, but then it's like, but she had memories from them from childhood, so were those just like implanted, or I don't.
Or did she know you, the real you, back then or something, and never noticed the switch?
But then when she's in the strength bod, when Mato's like, you, and she's like, hey, shouldn't you introduce yourself? So then she's implying they've never met before. So, whatever. And Strength is like, I'll always be your friend, you, and she dies.
See, this is just like, we kind of don't know you. So the idea that we're going to be like happy for her is so weird.
No, yeah, it's like she has the most complex arc of this show, but it's all very like backloaded.
Yeah, and we never knew her. We knew Strength, if we knew anyone. And now Strength's dying for this other character we don't really know.
Yeah, we only know her as we saw her backstory of being abused, and we saw her being crazy and kicking the shit out of Black Rock Shooter and being like, ha ha ha.
Yeah.
So I'm ride or die for that girl.
Yeah. If I'm not sympathetic for her, then I feel bad that Strength is dead. Like, I don't.
Yeah, and it's really funny because like at one point Strength is like, Mato, call me by my real name, and she's like, Strength. But then as Strength dies, Mato's like, you. So I think even Mato's confused.
Oh, sorry, that was your. Oh, shit, sorry.
Oh no, I dead named you upon your death. That was really rude. Oh, and then there's my last favorite unintentionally funny shot, because like as you can tell that like it's time for Mato to wake up now, and so like the camera is zooming out on her as she's still in her Black Rock Shooter clothes, but as it's almost about to cut to the next shot, suddenly her clothes just like fly off her really quick so that she can be like the Naked Soul version. But it like just happens so quick right at the end of the shot that is really funny.
It just sounds
it's like,
funny.
Whoop, there they go. Because like, yeah, next time you see her, she's just awake and she runs and finds Yomi, and she says, I'm sorry I hurt you. You can hurt me too. Can we hurt each other a bit, please?
What?
It's their lesson.
But I'm sorry I hurt you. Let's hurt each other. This is so confused.
And it's like Yomi, episode 2, she was waiting there for hours and she was feeling the pain of her relationship with Yomi. I don't understand what you're saying.
I don't think they do.
And then there's like narration that's like, wow, there's so many colors in the world, or fucking whatever. And Yu transfers into their school and they're all good friends. Her and Chariot Girl and Deadmaster Girl and Matsu, they're all hanging out, good friends. And they all have friendship bracelet. They all go to see the counselor together, who's a cool friend counselor. And they don't mind that time she did Little Choki, because that's what's Little Choki between friends. And they're like, let's all grow up together and become adults in this world. The end.
I love the idea that I guess everything the counselor was doing was justified because it was bad that insane Black Rock Shooter was around. The psychological torturing and actual choking of another character is fine because she was right to be afraid of insane Black Rock Shooter and was doing it all for you, who's this character we don't know.
And it's like, she was trying to preserve that world so you could live there, but like they make it seem like if you dies in that world, she just has to come live in the real worlds without strength, which is, what happens at the end.
Yeah.
So good job, Saya. Thanks for all your help. Thanks for ruining Black Gold Saw. But I don't care. Black Gold Saw OVA version is still my wife. I'm gonna get that $200 Figma of her someday. It's so fucking good. No, it's not. It's not a Figma. It's the really nice kind of statuette, and it's so fucking good.
Well, that's the important thing. That one day you'll have a figurine of your waifu.
Look, I like OVA Strength and OVA Black Gold Saw are both my girls, and I'm gonna get their fucking Nendoroids someday, and it's gonna be the best. That's the tale of Black Rock Shooter TV.
That certainly was a take, I guess. It's just like, this is one of those times where, like, I know we've talked before quite recently about, like, the idea that I'm more interested in people that went for something interesting and failed. I'm really conflicted with this because it feels like they were going for something, like, really high concept, but if I can't see what it was, then, well, okay, then in this case, I guess I'm not interested.
Yeah, and I'm so worried fans of the show are gonna be like, you just didn't fucking appreciate, you didn't understand it, and I want to be like, no.
But, like, that's kind of true. We didn't understand it. We didn't have any fucking idea what was going on.
Yeah, it's not that it's putting down something that I'm not picking up. It's not putting it down.
No, yeah, it's just failing to put it down.
Or it's putting a lot of things down.
Yeah, it seems like it just had too many metaphors it was trying to do at once. It was trying to take this idea and make it a bunch of different metaphors, like and using them all at the same time, which, we've discussed with other properties. That doesn't work. It breaks. It just makes things confusing and weird. And you tried to do it in 8 episodes.
Fucking wild.
Yeah, wow, okay. Well, yeah, now you know all about Black Rock Shooter.
Hell yeah. I'm really glad that we got to talk about it.
Was that the last version of Black Rock Shooter that was made?
There's been some other things, like there's a fucking gotcha game, I think, and there's other like weird little fucking spin-offs. There's also like, apparently there's some art books where Ryohei Fuke actually has whatever the fuck he thinks their world is, and that's its own thing. And I don't know about that. It is impossible to plumb the true depths of Black Rock Shooter multiverse.
Well, it almost seems like it's not so much deep as just really shallow and broad. There's a lot of ideas, but
there's many small estuaries.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is really interesting to know it's just like you can just look at that first drawing of Black Rock Shooter and see somehow it branched out into this fucking nonsense. And I still need to finish the PSP game, and I need to fight White Rock Shooter for the alien future or whatever the fuck. It's good shit.
Yeah. I don't really have anything to say. I'm just really confused.
Hell yeah.
I don't know how to respond to this.
Look, if anyone listening to this is like a big BRS fan and feels that I totally missed like an obvious thing, please do tell me. Be polite about it. But I'm interested to hear what it all completely works out and is completely internally consistent. You just blah 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 blah. I'm down for listening to your fan theories.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Anime.
Yeah.
It sure is many things.
Yeah. Because the other thing is that like there's all the dumb edge in there, like I guess like the ending almost and all the stuff with strength and you almost feels disconnected because it's like you were trying to do something there, but everything that led up to it is just like this other weird, stupid, edgy show. It's weird.
Yeah, it's like all the stuff with Kagari doesn't really play into the ending stuff at all.
No.
And it really undermines it because it's so abusive and unhealthy, and it's like, yeah, get rid of that part of you.
Yeah.
It's fine.
But also, like, in a way, all the stuff with Black Gold Sword doesn't really tie into stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because exactly like the mechanics of what the fuck she was trying to do are so unclear and messy that you never have that big reveal of like, oh, now I see. It's like, I think I see.
Yeah, it was mostly just us watching her abuse this other girl for unclear reasons. Yeah.
She just straight up fucking starts choking Mato.
Yeah. She tries to kill one of her students.
And God, like all the little moments, like when she gives Yomi the black coffee instead of with sugar in it, and it's like dun dun dun. So good. I love it. It's my favorite anime.
Okay.
Well, it's been a while since we did one that long.
Yeah.
There was a lot to cover.
Yeah, there really was. Yeah, that's BRS. If you get on the Patreon, you can vote for what you'd like Cube to cover. You can vote for what you'd like me to cover next, and you can vote for what you'd like both of us to have a look at.
Oh shit.
So yeah,
I know what I want to put on my poll at least, because I had to get this one done. Now you understand. I had to talk about this shit. But I also know now what other things I'm interested in rewatching or watching for the first time and talking about.
Yeah. So yeah, if you're not subscribed to Patreon and you've got a spare $3, by all means subscribe, and you get the episodes a bit early, and you get to vote on shit.
Hell yeah. This voting definitely won't be lost in the mail. Wink, 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 wink. Have a nice anime.
Please insert your votes through the tiny window that you can't see through.
Can't even see the light.